my beautiful little unicorns, and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you're on my channel, my name is Vanessa and I, and I would like to welcome you into the fam. So guys, today's pick a card reading is going to be super personalized as well as detailed. We are going to be discussing the next 6 months of your life, and in the first part of this video, you get to pick one of these 4 decks. So how this video works is that you pick a deck, you click the corresponding timestamp, and you will be fast forwarded to the relevant part of the reading. So once you've received your 6-month prediction based on the deck that you chose, things get a little more personal as I have also created readings for each individual sign of the zodiac. So each zodiac sign's timestamp can also be found down below in the description box. So not only do you get to pick one of 4 groups, but your zodiac sign also receives its very own 6-month prediction in this video. So the 4 decks that I have prepared for you today are as follows. Deck number 1 is the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. Deck number 2 is the Amenti Oracle deck. Deck number 3 represents the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck, and deck number 4 is the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. But the timestamps to all 4 groups can be found down below in the description box, as well as pinned to the comment section. The same goes for the zodiac portion of this pick a card reading video. So if you're completely new here and you stan these interactive videos and you love how much thought that I put into them, make sure that you subscribe to my channel in order to never miss another reading. It's free, it's easy, and this way you can make sure that you never miss out on another reading. But let's not spend too much time within the intro. I would rather get more in depth within your readings. So I will be starting off with the first group, which represents the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. And to all of my other lovely groups, I will catch you at the click of your timestamp. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Spirit Animal Oracle deck. So let's get straight into it in order to figure out what's coming for you in the next 6 months of your life. First we have the Groundhog Spirit as well as the Frog Spirit. So group number 1, I see that you're going to have to let go of something. The Groundhog Spirit stands for a time to let go, whereas the Frog Spirit stands for you clearing out the clutter. So these are some very clear messages that are presented to us in regards to your life in the next 6 months. So think decluttering actual things, okay? So think clothing, think old furniture, think just old things that are lying around in your space and making it feel a lot more cluttered than necessary, but maybe also friendships, maybe also certain relationships that are just not working out the way that they ideally should. Next, we have the Nightingale Spirit. So in the Nightingale Spirit, I see that nevertheless, love is all around. So do not worry that decluttering a friendship or getting rid of somebody who has become toxic to you or has always been toxic, but in the next 6 months, you're finally brave enough to stand up to them and say like, hey, you either gotta go or you gotta change your attitude. And if you have to let go of them, then so be it. I can see here that regardless, love is something that is here for you, that is present in the next 6 months. I see in the Scarab Beetle Spirit that magic is something that is all around you and working through you. So don't be afraid about letting go of somebody who is toxic. Don't be afraid to declutter, because often we feel like we will somehow be at a loss or miss out if we get rid of certain things, but keep in mind that often this is a mental phenomenon. This will not actually affect you in any sense of the word. It's just you, your fear, and your anxiety that's building it up. I can see here in the Buffalo Spirit that the universe is definitely trying to communicate with you that the universe will provide, and for you to not forget how abundant this life is, because often we can fall into this trap of feeling like life is super scarce or feeling as though there may not be enough for each and every one of us in this lifetime, but we gotta remember there's more than enough to go around. The universe and this world is far more abundant than we often choose to believe. Next, we have body work. So I can see here that in the next 6 months, your body is going to be a very integral part of your development. I can see here that energy healing as well as exercise training, just overall taking good care of your physical body is an important part of your next 6 months for whatever reason. So it could be because you're finally going to say, okay, I'm getting in shape. I'm no longer going to allow myself to look or feel a certain way, but it may also be because you're moving into a different part of your work that involves more physical strength, more physical activity, or you're helping other human beings become physically more strong and healthy. I can see here in Infinite Abundance that the next 6 months for you, group number 1, are really going to be super prosperous. We already had that in the Buffalo Spirit. Now we had literal infinite abundance that showed up within your reading, and I can see here that you're fully supported in the next 6 months as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. So think you really just leaning into any type of work that you're passionate about, anything that makes you feel happy, and knowing that as long as you do something that you're meant to do, the money will chase you. Never chase money. If you're doing the right thing, the financial abundance will come to you. Next, we have leadership. So taking charge of the situation. I see here that in the next 6 months, you're not going to allow anyone to boss you around any longer or anymore. You're taking charge of the situation, and you're making sure that you're holding yourself accountable, because when somebody else gets to boss you around or gets to tell you what to do, it's easy to just blame anything that goes wrong on that person or the circumstances. But I see here in leadership that you're not doing that. You're taking full responsibility and you're holding yourself accountable. I can see here in counseling that you have a very healing type of personality, and you help others with a lot of wise advice and an empathetic ear. So whenever people have like a secret or something that they wish they could tell another human being, you're there. You're the type of person that they can confide in. So that is where I see here in counseling that the whole thing may kind of turn on you a little bit, and you may finally decide to see a therapist or go to some counseling sessions for your own issues, okay? I'm calling it issues, but I mean for the things that you're going through yourself, that you're struggling with, and that you feel like you want to finally resolve. You want to finally get appropriate help with. I can see here in Trust the Niggle that any type of niggling feeling, any type of hunch that you can feel when it comes to your mental health is something that you need to listen to. That is something that is often undeniable, but we just say to ourselves, oh, well, I don't really have the time or the money, or I don't really feel like going to therapy. I don't really know about, just telling a stranger my whole life story. One thing that I can see here is that in the next 6 months, it will become abundantly clear to you, group number 1, that there is this niggling feeling, there is this feeling that you can't really deny, that is pushing you towards seeing someone, talking about a situation, just overall dealing with your past, and you really should not ignore that. You really should trust in that feeling and see where it leads you and how it's able to heal you. After all, we are on the most healing channel across YouTube. Of course, I'm going to give you advice on how to heal yourself. Next, we have Trust Your Path. So if you knew you are supported, what would you do? So in trusting your path, I definitely want you to know that in the next 6 months, whatever you've always dreamt of doing is something that is able to become a reality. So maybe that is, for example, trusting your path in becoming a reader or a healer. And that is one thing that you decide to look into and actually try to get to a point where you're doing something that you love. Maybe you look at my channel and you think, wow, I wish I could do that as well. So I will leave the link to my How to Become a Great Tarot Reader masterclass in the description box if you're interested in that. But this card is just really overall about trusting your path and trusting your intuition, and also believing in yourself while using the appropriate tools. Whether it is, for example, a masterclass on how to become a great tarot reader that teaches you how you can do exactly what I do, or whether it's, for example, enrolling back in a course in school, getting that academic degree that you need in order to work in a medical field. It doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. I can see here in Trust Your Path that it's important for you to make a decision based on if you knew you were supported. what would you do? So if you knew it would work out regardless, what would you do? And without knowing, because there's never 100% reassurance from the universe or from life, I mean, anything can happen at any moment. So without having that 100% certainty, still doing what you're being called to do, still moving into a space that feels pure and real to you. Next, we have take a break. So the next 6 months are definitely going to be taxing for you, group number one. I can see here that taking enough appropriate breaks is important for you, and also to value your time that you spend in your bedroom. And I mean having sleep, okay? Having really restful, a really restful 8 hours of sleep every single night, not compromising when it comes to that, and reminding yourself just of how important that is in the long run to keep yourself healthy. Next, we have the Star Mother. So in the Star Mother, I can see here that mother healing is possible. So if you have a strained relationship with a motherly figure in your life, the next 6 months is going to help you sort that situation out, as well as get to the bottom of why it's even gotten to this toxic place, or why it's even gotten to this very difficult space. I can see in the Star Mother that mothering yourself, taking care of yourself, is the ideal thing, not just for you to do in the next 6 months, but the ideal thing to just overall incorporate within your life on your path to becoming a leader. So I do see here in Getting Grounded, leadership, as well as the Star Mother, that just saying how it is that you feel is really important, because I see that you've been holding back on your feelings. You've been keeping a lot of your struggles and things that you've gone through to yourself, all because you don't want to seem difficult, or you don't want to kind of attract too much attention. But I see here in Getting Grounded that you're going to come to this realization in the next 6 months that your feelings are so valid. I can see here in the Mirror that there's something that's triggering you, and that's exactly what you're going to confront in the next 6 months. And I can definitely see within your reading that this triggering person or aspect of your life definitely has to do with your relationship with another human being, and it is definitely a relationship that you're thinking about right now as you're looking in the screen. And I can see here that it's coming from a place from you allowing yourself to be vulnerable and sensitive, but then it kind of backfiring, and people saying, oh, you're just being overly sensitive, or you're reading too much into it, when you really know that your feelings are stating something else. You're not being overly sensitive. They are just failing to notice how they're mistreating you or not properly there for you. So group number one, I can definitely see that this entire situation is going to come to a point where it has to be resolved and healed, and you're going to take the lead of it. I see here in boundaries that establishing better boundaries is something that you're going to embrace fully and 100% within these next 6 months, especially with that person whose relationship, or with whom you're going to heal your joint relationship. You're going to move into the future with them having real boundaries. So not allowing everybody to have energetic access to you, or to just overall be able to be near you. So do you see how you're setting these boundaries? You have your arms stretched out. People are trying to come into your field, into your space here with these different hands, but you're not allowing that to happen, because you're setting these clear boundaries. You're establishing boundaries that are so necessary in order to protect your energy, your vibes, and just overall your mental sanity. So group number one, this is the reading that I received for you. I hope that this already resonated and that it gave you a good idea about what's happening within the next 6 months, what you're dealing with. So now click your corresponding zodiac timestamp to move into the portion of this video that is dedicated to each zodiac sign, so you can watch your zodiac sign's 6-month prediction. So I'll see you over there. Hello, group number 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Amenti Oracle deck. Let's get straight into it to figure out what's coming towards you within the next 6 months of your life, shall we? So first and foremost, we have I follow my inner guidance. So group number 2, I can definitely see here that within the next 6 months, you're not listening to other people's opinions or what they want you to do. You're 100% listening to your opinion, to your feelings, and also to your intuition, which is really empowering you and allowing you to make moves that you otherwise might have been too afraid to make. Next, we have I honor virtue, as well as I keep the waters pure. So I can instantly see within your reading that it's important for you to finally be 100% true to yourself. That is the entire vibe that I get so far within your reading, and that is definitely an integral part of who you are becoming over these next 6 months. So instead of allowing people to tell you, oh, you've changed, you're so different, why are you like this? You're 100% embracing every aspect of yourself and not allowing people to make you feel uncomfortable about change, because you know that for possibility to arise and for anything great to happen in your life, you need change. And staying the same person over a period of 6 months, it's not an option for you. I can see here in the King of Swords that there is somebody in your life within these next 6 months who is going to affect you greatly. The King of Swords is the King of Air, so think Libra, think Aquarius. That type of energy is the energy that I see coming towards you for the next 6 months with great impact. A Gemini may also come and impact your life in a great way. So this person is going to change your mindset. This person is going to further feed into you honoring yourself and being unafraid to express it. So you look up to them. I see here in the Queen of Swords that you're trying to follow in their footsteps. I see that the Queen of Swords allows you to be very strict with people who try to bring their opinions into your life. So think somebody always having an opinion about what you're doing or how you're doing things in life, but you setting those boundaries and just cutting straight through their words and just saying, you know what, thanks for the advice that I never asked for, but I don't need that. I know exactly what I'm doing. I see here in the Three of Cups a lot of celebration coming for you within the next 6 months. So think birthdays, anniversaries, just big life events, and you just having a party, you having a swell time and hanging out with people who get you, who understand you, while creating boundaries in the King as well as Queen of Swords with people who are clearly only here to criticize and can never see the good in what you're doing or going through. Next, we have the Devil. So I do see here within the Devil, group number 2, that you're trying to keep any type of negative influences away from you. Rightfully so, because I do see here in the Devil that there is a certain amount of, how do I put this? There is a certain amount of jealousy. There is a certain amount of envy, and also a certain amount of just people overall feeling like, why did you get ahead of the game and not them? Why were your last 6 months so transformative and not theirs? If they were to look at the real reason why, instead of just wishing that they could take your spot, which is what I see here in the Devil, they would understand that if they only were as open-minded as you, they could have made the same progress. But they were there criticizing you, trying to point out your faults, while you were just busy keeping your waters pure, so not even engaging in negativity, while at the same time 100% focusing on your inner guidance and listening to your intuition. So I'm really proud of you, group number 2. I can see here in the Bee Spirit that sweet results await you. So there is a lot of reward type energy that is in the air here for your next 6 months. And I can see here in the Bee Spirit that those sweet results didn't just get handed to you. And that's what a lot of people are going to assume about you in the next 6 months. They're going to assume that, well, it was just handed to you, or you just had it easy in life. When I can see here in the Bee Spirit that there was in fact really hard work attached to all of the progress that you're making. I see here in the Porcupine Spirit that it's time for you to get back to a beginner mindset, and you're able to do that because you're open-minded. Let me explain to you what a beginner mindset even means. Now, group number 2, a beginner mindset is allowing yourself to learn something right from the start, to put yourself in the shoes of a beginner, whether you know a lot about a certain topic or you're just starting out. And you're unafraid to do that, and you're not allowing your ego or your pride to take over. You're happy to learn from level 1 to engage in a certain topic right from level 1 onwards. And by seeing things with a beginner mind, by not feeling like you already know how to do something, you are then able to innovate and to find new ways of moving forward. Just think of, for example, companies who have done the same thing for the past like half a decade, and then they ask themselves why they're going bankrupt or why newer, smaller companies are overtaking them in sales. Well, it's because they fail to innovate and they fail to implement this beginner mind that we're talking about here in the porcupine spirit. Whereas everybody who does implement a beginner mind and looks at the market and looks at what people truly want and how the times are changing and evolving, that is the person who is going to get ahead. That is the real competition. I can see here in the moth spirit that group number 2, you're surrendering to just overall being in a space of not wanting to argue. You're not about the drama. I can see that the next 6 months are all about you, and you don't really care if people want to say that you're being selfish. You're just focusing on yourself. So think, for example, taking a course on how to start a business, or for example, a class on how to learn tarot. I will leave my tarot masterclass linked in the description box, which is kind of like a masterclass where you subscribe one time and then you have lifetime access. So even if I upload more how-to videos in a couple months or years, you will still be in there and you will have all of the exclusive material that I don't upload to YouTube. So surrendering to what you really want to do, whether that is learning tarot, learning another new skill, or maybe even going back to school, going back to study something very specific, is what I see you doing within the next 6 months without allowing judgment from anybody else to get close to you or to come to a place in your mind where it's actually affecting you. You're not allowing that anymore. I can see here in the peacock spirit that no, you're letting things shine, group number 2. You're not allowing anybody to dim or dull your light. You're allowing yourself to shine just like this peacock spirit. But I do want you to also keep in mind that allowing yourself to shine also means that you have to sometimes take the necessary time to recharge your flame, okay, to recharge all of the light that you're putting out into the world. So definitely focus on shining and on being yourself in a very unapologetic way, but at the same time, of course, make sure that you're spending an appropriate amount of time taking care of yourself. We have the Chariot in reverse. So in the reverse Chariot, I can see here, group number 2, that you're in no rush to get things done. The next 6 months are going to be kind of chill and laid back for you to a certain extent. So you're focused on personal growth. You're not so much focused on financial growth or earthly growth. Material things are great, but I can see that spiritually you really have this hunger for wisdom and this hunger to connect with other people in this type of community. So that's why in the Chariot, I can see that this highly favorable card is reversed. And because you're not moving very quickly, you're able to actually be in the moment and enjoy life a lot more, which is a great plus added benefit of things moving more slowly. I see here in infinite abundance that you're 100% supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. So whatever it is that you feel is really meant to be for you, whatever you feel like is really your life's purpose, the universe will recognize that you were brave enough to actually follow that inner guidance towards it, and you will be rewarded. So never chase the money, let the money chase you. I see here in books that connecting through books, like involving books, learning through books, and learning through new information is the best thing you can do for yourself in the next 6 months. So group number 2, pause, open a tab, purchase that book you've always wanted to, because yes, it may cost you like $20-30, but the amount of value that can generate in your life, it could potentially be invaluable. I mean, if you read the right book on business or on self-love that gives you the confidence to start your business and it becomes a smashing success. Yes, that may have cost you 20, 30 bucks, or maybe you're taking some sort of like class, whether it be online or at school, and in the end that makes you a lot more money and you're really happy with that in the long run, then that initial investment was really worth it. That initial investment really created so much more value in your life than what you spent on it. So that is where you have to like not be cheap on yourself and make sure that what you're investing in, of course, has longevity. If you, for example, buy a t-shirt for $30, it's most likely not going to change your life as much as you adding a certain tarot deck or a certain book to your collection that you can feel might change your entire mindset for the rest of your life. Let's move further into your reading. We have Talk to Your Angels. Now, group number 2, I can see here in Talk to Your Angels that you're being called to not worry so much and instead ask for divine guidance. So a little bit of anxiety and worry is a part of your next 6 months. But when you realize just how easy it is for you to just ask your angels for divine guidance, that is when you can chill. That is when you know all of the little signs out there that actually indicate that your angels are present and talking to you. So a sign could be, for example, seeing a rainbow, a white feather, very specific animals. And the more you get to know your angels, the more you will understand how they're trying to talk to you. I can see here in counseling that you're a healer. Group number 2, you're a natural born healer who heals with their words, their actions, as well as their empathetic ear. So you just allowing other people to talk to you, to tell you what they're going through, just always being that person with an open mind and open ear is something that is allowing for your relationships to be strengthened. So there's most likely going to be somebody within the next 6 months who needs your help really badly, group number 2, but of course you're there for them because that is just who you are. Then last but not least, we have the Panther Spirit. Now in the Panther Spirit, I can see that the next 6 months is all about not only growing spiritually, but also reclaiming your power. So looking at decisions that you've made in your life because of peer pressure, because you thought that was the right thing to do, and moving forward, not making that quote-unquote mistake again. So why I'm calling this a quote-unquote mistake is because it's not a mistake. We've all made a decision based on what we thought we should do or what other people expected from us, rather than that decision being based on what we truly wanted. We've all done that at least once or 100 or 1,000,000 times before, depending on what type of personality that you have. So I can definitely see here in the Panther Spirit that reclaiming your power and recognizing when you have done that to your dismay, recognizing when you have done that and actually done a disservice for yourself, and then knowing better moving forward is what these next 6 months are really about for you, group number 2. So you're really emancipating your inner guidance and allowing for it to take the lead, allowing for yourself to take the lead and to empower yourself and reclaim your power. Group number 2, this is the reading that I received for you in the pick a card section of this video. Now make sure that you head back into the timestamps, click your zodiac sign, and you will receive the rest of this super personalized 6-month prediction. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you were drawn to the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. I absolutely love this deck. It is so beautiful, so let's get into it in order to figure out what's coming for you in the next 6 months of your life. First up, we have Pachamama. So one thing that I can see here in Pachamama is really just honoring the nature and honoring the fact that you are a part of the nature, that as a human being, you are really a part of nature, even though in this day and age, often technological advances make it seem as though humans are so different from animals and so not a part of the nature, whereas you're actually finding your drawback to it. So spending more time outside is one thing that I can see see here in the next 6 months. We also have lightning. So there's a lot of power that you're going to be able to receive from the nature. So every time you go out in the next 6 months, I can see you feeling energized. I can see you feeling as though you're coming back home or back to wherever it is that you're going with a lot of new ideas, a newfound focus, as well as a newfound type of zest for life. That is one thing that I see in Pachamama in conjunction to lightning. Next, we have the hummingbird. So I do see here in the hummingbird that saying things however you feel like saying them, so not feeling like you always need to be diplomatic, is something that you're embracing within these next 6 months, group number 3. So in conjunction to lightning, I can definitely see that fierce words are going to be exchanged between you and other human beings, and you're not going to allow anybody to intimidate you into saying what you don't actually think. Okay, so you're not allowing anybody, no matter their status, no matter where they're coming from, how old they are, you're not going to make your opinion or what you say dependent on who's in front of you. You're just going to say how you feel regardless. Next up, we have the upper world. So I can see that you're coming to this point in your life in the next 6 months where you're going to ask yourself, if I am too afraid to embrace my thoughts, my feelings, and emotions now, when will I really be honest? When will I really allow myself to be who I am and to feel however it is that I feel, regardless of whether it makes somebody else uncomfortable? So that is one thing that I can see here in the upper world that is creating this shift in your mindset. Next, we have the bat spirit. So in the bat spirit, I can see that it almost feels like a rebirth, and it feels like you're becoming a completely different person. So group number 3, over the course of the next 6 months, there is going to be a lot of change for you personally, and you're most likely going to look back at this video 6 months from now or at my channel and think to yourself, wow, I have really changed so much. I see here in the frog spirit that there's a lot of unnecessary clutter present in your life, and that is something that you're getting rid of in the next 6 months. So these could be pieces of clothing that cause you anxiety, because one thing that I think a lot of people are guilty of, and I'm no exception, is coming to a point where you have a lot of stuff, but really you only use like 5% of it. And it sounds like good problems to have, but at the same time, here in the frog spirit, in conjunction to the upper world, I can see that the only way for you to truly move forward is to declutter, is to get rid of certain things, because when you have a lot of things lying around, it causes this mindset of feeling like you have a lot of responsibility. It's almost like all of this stuff is holding you back. It's almost like it's emotionally affecting your productivity and who you are able to be, and how much energy that you have, because when you're in a cluttered space, be it emotionally or physically, it's draining, and it is definitely something that decreases just how effective you can be in day-to-day life. Next, we have I am forgiving. So I do see here that forgiveness is something that you're going to have to learn on a whole nother level in the next 6 months. So someone might end up betraying you, you may end up feeling really hurt, and that's why you even need to learn forgiveness to this new extent. Now, I of course don't want to scare you, group number 3. I want to prepare you, and I want to remind you of the fact that at the end of the day, whether you are in group number 3 or whatever group that you've selected, we are all the same in the way of not being able to control another person or their actions towards us. We have all felt as though, oh, we shouldn't have let that person in, or maybe we should have seen it coming and then we could have avoided being hurt by other people. But you have to forgive yourself for even thinking in that direction, group number 3, because when you think in that direction, you are implying that you allowing somebody to be close to you was a mistake. You are then all of a sudden implying that the fact that you gave somebody the benefit of the doubt was a mistake, like that is a flaw within you. It is not a flaw, group number 3. That is something beautiful. The fact that you can see potential in another human being, the fact that you can allow them so close to you that they can even have the opportunity to hurt you. You should be proud of yourself that you are unafraid to do that. And even if you do feel hurt, forgive yourself for feeling like, oh, I'm hurt, I'm going through this, maybe I should have never let them close to me. Forgive yourself for holding yourself to such high standards that aren't necessary. And high standards, not positive high standards. The fact that you're even implying that you letting this person in was a bad thing, that is not something that you should try to compare yourself to, or that you should even use as a standard. Forgive yourself for thinking in any way, shape, or form negatively about your relationships that caused hurt. I can see here in following your inner guidance that this is something that you will always come back to. So even when you get hurt, you're just the type of human being who follows their inner guidance and who is always going to come back to their intuition. So why even go off track, group number 3? That's the better question. That's the real question that I have for you here in your 6-month prediction. Why even allow yourself to derail and to go off onto this tangent of saying, oh, well, I'll never let somebody in again. I've been hurt so many times. What's the point in love or friendships? You will follow your inner guidance at some point again, regardless. You will trust the next person that you feel just needs help or support regardless. So why not just forgive yourself immediately rather than dwell on a situation for too long and move forward being yourself? We all get hurt. It is inevitable. Don't feel like you are an exception. I can see here in the builder that actually you do get hurt, but at the same time, the amount of building that you're able to do is something that should give you a great sense of accomplishment. Just think about it. When somebody is building a business, they may confide or trust in a lot of different business partners, and some of them won't work out. Some work relationships will not work out, and they will crash, burn, and crumble. And the benefits of when it does work out, those benefits are endless. So do know here in the builder that you can cut somebody off as soon as you see that it's not working out, but at the same time, like, you have to give people chances to allow a situation to come into your life that does work out, because there's never a guarantee. So moving forward into your reading, group number 3, I can see here in school that going to school is something that you may think of, just overall school being in the back of your mind. Maybe you had like a dream of being back in school. Maybe you've thought to yourself, I wouldn't mind getting this extra degree or diploma or learning something new. So that is one thing that I see that's on your mind within the next 6 months. By the way, speaking of school, I will leave my masterclass on becoming a great tarot reader down below in the description box. So if you're interested in learning the tarot, and if that is something that you've always wondered, where can I really learn this thing? Because there are a lot of things that people want to learn, but there's no dedicated like school or class to it. So I already have made a little start to try to help in the tarot community, but there are of course a lot of people across lots of different fields. You may, for example, be really interested in yoga and thinking of going to a certain yoga school. You may be very interested in sound or hypnotherapy and therefore try to find somebody near you or a school online that you can attend and just learn extra skills. I can see here an author that there's a whole book inside of you, and the next 6 months are going to be so eventful that you're most likely going to feel like jotting it down, writing it down, maybe even turning your life story into a book. I can see here in options that there are a lot of career possibilities that will be opening up to you within the next 6 months, group number 3. So it is important for you to kind of come to the realization that it's your call. So you having all of these options is a blessing, but at the same time, it can of course also be very stressful because you don't want to make a wrong decision. You don't want to make a wrong choice. So consider all of these career possibilities that are opening up to you in the next 6 months, but don't feel the need to act on them immediately, okay? You can take your time, group number 3. I see here in the warrior woman that it's important for you to do what you would do if you weren't afraid. So even if that's remaining complacent, so think, for example, getting an offer to start something new in your career, but you're actually happy where you are. Don't be afraid to just say, look, even though maybe the pay might be better or there are other possibilities in this job that you're offering me, I am happy where I am. So do exactly what you would do if you weren't afraid. Don't allow fear to even be an option in these next 6 months of your life, because I do see here that fear is one of these things that might destroy a lot more for you than you ever expected if you allow it to gain a foothold. I can see here in Leap that you going first and trying something as the first is what is happening in the next 6 months. So in conjunction to author, school, as well as builder, I can definitely see here, either writing something that you would like to publish, going back to school and getting further education, just overall being a lot, quote unquote, further ahead than people in your family or people in your immediate surrounding is something that I can see here in Leap. Okay, you're very different to your friends and your family. Your aspirations are really high, they're really big, and it is just noticeable. Okay, you stick out like a sore thumb, and I can definitely see here within Leap that because you already know that this is a truth, group number 3, because you already understand that you are quite different, I can see that all you need is just that extra little push to take the leap instead of still thinking, oh, well, maybe I can still fit in. Don't try and fit in. It's okay that you're different, because you are that one person that can change an entire family's or an entire lineage's history. So just being that one person in your family or in your surrounding that starts a successful business or gets to a certain level of education, that is something that you should be proud of and that you should take the leap towards, even if nobody else has tried it. Just because you're leaping doesn't mean that it'll result in something where you're negatively standing out. Okay, standing out for being the first one to go to university or being the first one to build a huge empire in your family, in your lineage, or the first woman, the first man, the first whoever it is to do something. It is not a negative. I can see here in the 6 of Swords that you're moving in the next 6 months from a place of like self-doubt about what you can accomplish and what you really should be moving towards, to a place of certainty and not feeling so much like, oh, like I probably shouldn't be here, I probably shouldn't be doing this. No. Group number 3, I can definitely see here that the next 6 months are going to change your outlook on your life. We have the Sun in reverse. So the Sun reverse is nevertheless still a really positive card in the tarot. So I do want you to know here in the Sun showing up reversed, group number 3, that the next 6 months are going to be a very warm, cozy, fuzzy type of time, but you also need to take enough time to rest and recuperate. The Sun can shine forever. This is a star that is going to not dim within my lifetime or your lifetime, but group number 3, you are a human being and not a star. You are not the sun. So you need time to recuperate. You need time to reset. And it's important that you give yourself that time in order to ensure that you're not burning the candle at both ends, okay? That you're not kind of like in the process of trying to accomplish a lot, that you're not actually damaging yourself. Next, we have the 2 of Cups reversed. So I can see here that romantic relationships are definitely, in a sense, going to struggle to find a foothold in the next 6 months. So whether you are in a relationship or you're single, I can see that you don't really have very much time to date. You don't really have very much time to spend with another human being romantically, and it just shows. So if you have somebody by your side who is really needy, or you're just kind of dating somebody who is really needy, that's something that they're definitely going to have an issue with. As I can see here in the 2 of Wands, that it's almost like you feel like you've got to choose. So you feel like you can do it all, but this person who you may be interested in romantically within the next 6 months, or this person who you're actually with right now, kind of wants you to choose. They want you to say whether you're here in the relationship or whether you're focused on yourself, your work, and building and accomplishing something. So it is going to feel like you're kind of torn in multiple directions, group number 3, but I don't want you to have any sense of guilt because of that. The right person is going to encourage you to find a way to make it all work, whereas somebody who is maybe threatened by you or has a bit of an ego going on may want you to choose, but that is like a whole nother topic. But group number 3, so this is the reading that I received for you based on the group that you chose, but do make sure that you head over to your zodiac signs portion of your next 6 months so you can receive a even more personalized and accurate 6-month prediction. Now group number 3, thank you for spending this divine time with me, and I will see you over at your zodiac signs reading. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Daily Crystal Inspiration Oracle deck. Now let's move straight into your reading in order to figure out what's going on for you within the next 6 months, shall we? First and foremost, we have the Smoky Quartz. Now group number 4, I can definitely see here that letting go of unnecessary mental anguish, letting go of anyone who isn't bringing positivity into your life is what you're up to within the next 6 months. So you're not here for any fake friends. You're not here for anyone who is causing more drama than they are causing love, as well as a positive influence. Next, we have the Aragonite, and the Aragonite speaks of just that, letting go of emotional baggage. Now, group number 4, you may be left with a few less friends, and you may think to yourself, well, if I have any less friends, then I have none left, which group number 4, it is completely okay. A lot of people go through a phase in their life where they don't have many friends, or they maybe only have like 1 or 2 really good friends, and that is completely fine. I don't want you to feel like you need a lot of friends in order to be happy. Actually, people with a lot of friends will often tell you that, you know, the less friends that you have, the better, because that means less drama and you can be more selective with whose energy you surround yourself with. Next, we have the Chrysoprase. So in the Chrysoprase, group number 4, I can see here that you're all about allowing yourself to receive. So not just always being the one helping other human beings and kind of putting your neck out for others, but finally also having some reciprocity within your relationship, some other people doing the same noble act for you. I can see here in the gate that it's all about getting into balance. So things have been imbalanced. You have maybe been putting a lot more effort into your relationships than the people involved in those relationships. Okay, they may have been just like leaning back and allowing you to do most of the work. So I do see here in the agate that getting things back into balance is what's happening in the next 6 months, and that anybody who isn't wanting to have this reciprocity be present within your relationship with them, so anybody who is avoiding helping you out when you need them, but as soon as they need you, it's like your phone is blowing up, they need you to be there immediately. Those are the type of people that I see you letting go of, because at the end of the day, as the Aragonite states, that is just emotional baggage that you no longer need. No longer, you never needed that, group number 4. Let's just make that very clear. I can see here in the Tourmalinated Quartz that getting out of your own way and empowering yourself is something that's happening here in the next 6 months. And those people, they're not going to be happy, okay? The people whose dirty job that you did for the longest time, they're not going to be happy. They're going to say that you changed. They're going to maybe even try and assassinate your character and tell you, oh, well, you've changed for the worse, blah, blah, blah. But group number 4, I don't want you to feel as though that you should take that seriously whatsoever. It's coming from a person who doesn't know what reciprocity is. That's number 1, okay? Number 2, change is inevitable and it is important in order to grow. So if you're the same person 6 months from now, that should be concerning. People should not be concerned once you change, once you grow, once you evolve. People should be concerned if you remain complacent, if you remain the same person over 6 months, 6 years, 6 decades. Okay, now that is concerning. So let's not always turn things around. That is something that toxic people do, but you're coming to an innate understanding of these toxic traits, and maybe you're also watching more videos on YouTube about, you know, different things that you can look into psychologically speaking. For example, what's a dark empath, what's a highly sensitive person, and so on. And you're realizing, wow, I have a few people around me who are maybe narcissists, who are maybe sociopaths, and you're not going to allow them to continue to kind of control you or to continue to spread their toxicity in your life. I can see here in Trust Your Path reverse that it's important for you to do whatever you feel like you would do if you knew it would work out. So for example, if you're right now working at Starbucks, but you know that you actually want to start your own business, and if you knew 100% that it would work, then you would do it. Do that action without knowing that it'll work 100%, because guess what, group number 4? We never have 100% certainty that something will work out. You don't know that your job at Starbucks, for example, will work out, or that branch isn't going to close, or your boss isn't going to kick you out for whatever reason. So just as much as you don't know that is just as much uncertainty as starting your own business, as just trusting your path. So you cannot wait till you have 100% certainty. You have to act now. I can see here in Answer the Call that when that sign pops up, when that, just little thing that you see, whether it be an ad for a school to learn about psychology, whether it is an ad on a course where you can learn to build your own business, a tarot reader course. I have mine linked down below in the description box. Answer the call. Okay, what is your soul really calling you to do, without you sabotaging yourself, without you thinking, well, I'm not made to be a business owner, or I'm not made to have a YouTube channel, or I'm not made to be a blogger, writer, whatever type of self-deprecating thought that it is. Get rid of that. Get out of your own way. We spoke about that in the tourmalinated quartz and Answer the Call. There is a reason why you feel drawn to doing a certain thing in your life, and you should no longer neglect that. You only have one life. Don't take things so seriously to the point that you're so afraid to make a move out of the ordinary, or to make a move towards your dreams, that you end up never doing it. I can see here in the inner temple that it's all about your devotion to the cause. Okay, never feel afraid because of money or because of material comfort. Never feel as though you don't want to chase your dream because of fear of not, for example, having X amount of money. When you're doing what you're meant to do, things will sort themselves out. I mean, how often in life have you been at a situation where you were completely down, completely smashed, completely heartbroken, and somehow things still worked out? That is one thing that I want you to know here in the inner temple. Furthermore, we have the soul family. Now, group number 4, you don't have to do it alone. Okay, call in on your tribe, talk to people who you can confide in, talk to people who really get you. So whether that is, for example, joining a community on YouTube, joining a community off of YouTube, just commenting more in the comment section of my video, of other people's videos. I can see here in the soul family that knowing that you don't have to do it alone, connecting with other people, DMing other people who are going through similar things. Yes, it may take a little bit to find a friend that really resonates, or to be in a space where you really feel like, okay, everybody gets me who's surrounding me right now. It may take time, but it is so worth it. And what's the alternative? Seriously, what's the alternative? To just feel like you have to do everything alone? That's not the alternative. As a human being, you are meant to be surrounded by other humans. You're meant to be social. So call in on your tribe, and if you feel like a lot of people in your life right now just don't get you, look for new friends, make new friends. I know it's hard as an adult to make new friends, to connect with new people, but just try and reach out. Even feel free to leave a comment down below in the comment section. Just introduce yourself and see how many people reply, and that can already be a confidence booster for you to know, like, hey, okay, it's okay to make new friends at this point in my life. It is still possible. There are other people there who are in the exact same situation, so don't feel like you're alone. Next, we have the Bee Spirit. Now, in the Bee Spirit, I can see that moving forward, you have really awesome results awaiting you in the next 6 months. So if you have a big project that you've been working on, if there's something that you've kind of been putting a lot of work into for a very long time, do know that the results are awaiting you, and they will be sweet. They will be awesome, and you will feel like your hard work was really all worth it in the end. Next, we have the Otter Spirit. So in the Otter Spirit, I can see that the next 6 months are definitely going to bring a strengthened relationship into your life. So this could be a romantic relationship, but it could also be a friendship that just makes you feel like you're never alone, like you never have to do something without support. And like, wow, 6 months ago, so at the time of you watching this video, you felt unsupported and you felt afraid, whereas now you're in such a different space and you feel like you have people who you can truly rely on. I can see here in the Owl Spirit group number 4 that clarity is something that you're gaining more and more of within the next 6 months. So clarity of the people who you surround yourself with, clarity of your dreams, your fears, your aspirations, and understanding exactly why certain people were also like sent into your life. Have you ever had somebody be in your life for a few years or months and then it no longer worked out, but looking back, you understand that you needed them. For some reason, they triggered the next relationship, which was then like a healthier one or a better one. Or for some reason, they triggered you to be stronger than you ever thought you can be. And now you know about that strength. Now you know what you're capable of, but you had to meet that person or have that difficult situation show up in your life in order to even become aware of your strengths and to become aware of what it is that you truly desire and of what it is that a good friend or a good partner looks like. So it's kind of like that Ariana Grande song where it's a thank you next song where she says, thank you next, I'm so effing grateful for my ex. So it's like, thanks, I'm so grateful because now I know what I really deserve. Now I know what I'm going to put up with and what I'm not going to put up with. And now I know what a healthy relationship looks like. So thank you, but next, knowing exactly when to move forward from that person and for what reason they were in your life. Next, we have the Beaver Spirit. Now, in the Beaver Spirit, I can see here that laying a solid foundation is what you're then able to do. The Beaver Spirit connects to the number 6, and the number 6 in numerology is a number of stability. It is a number that speaks of helping other people, of being very kind of like open-minded. So don't be surprised if 6 months from now you are just finishing up or closing off a project with a friend or a work colleague that you both spent a lot of time on, that you both put a lot of energy into, but you're going to be able to enjoy all of the rewards that you're garnering through it in a little bit. I can see here in I Speak With Sincerity that just being honest, okay, and also being real with yourself is something that is important for you within the next 6 months, and being forgiving. So understanding that any mistakes or situations that you feel like really were mistakes, just forgiving yourself for those, especially if they have to do with love, if they have to do with a romantic relationship, as we spoke about in the Owl Spirit, just overall things becoming very clear as to why certain people were in your life in the first place. I have here, I consume only my fair share. So being a lot more environmentally friendly and not consuming so much anymore. Okay, so not consuming more than you need, not consuming more than what is necessary, and also optimizing how much waste that you produce. So be it, for example, food, making more meal plans, just focusing more on taking what you need and not feeling the need to hoard, not feeling like, oh, why not take a little bit extra just to make sure, and understanding that in this day and age, we live in a society that is so almost like spoiled and privileged. You're never going to run out to the point that you're going to suffer. If you're watching this video, you most likely have an abundance of water, of nutritious food, or the possibility to get nutritious food whenever you please. You have a warm home, a roof over your head. I mean, if you're able to watch this video, then you're most likely in a situation where just consuming your fair share, yeah, okay, you may run out of your favorite food, but just remind yourself how many people don't have anything at all. So to sometimes also just compromise in order to be more environmentally friendly, and to remind yourself of the fact that compromise is not something bad. As human beings, we make it seem as, oh my God, that means like I'm going without, or I don't have my favorite thing, or I'm not able to do exactly what I want when I want. Putting that out there as such a negative thing, putting that out there as such a bad thing, is actually kind of really spoiled as human beings, because what other living being has their favorite food every meal or every time, or is able to get anxious just thinking about, oh, I don't have my favorite thing in the pantry. Like, there is no other living being that does that. They live in the moment and they take what's there and they're happy with it. I can see here in I Keep the Waters Pure that for you, group number 4, it is important for you to connect with that side of yourself that is really humble, okay? Keeping the waters pure and not allowing any type of consumerism to get the best of you. Not allowing any of these companies who are selling unethical clothing, unethical food, unethical anything to make you feel like you need that in order to just elevate your look or elevate your surroundings. Nothing about that energy is going to elevate anything for you. If anything, it's just going to bring negativity into your life, and another thing that only lasts for a short period of time that you will then have to throw away. Support small businesses, support people who have set up things with love, with thought, with passion. Surround yourself with that kind of energy, as I do see that that is the most healing and forward-thinking way for you to develop within the next 6 months, group number 4. Now, group number 4, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Now, make sure that you click the corresponding timestamp to your zodiac sign in order to receive an even more accurate outlook on the next 6 months of your life. Hello, all my beautiful Aries babies of the world, and welcome to your 6-month zodiac prediction. So let's move straight into it. I really hope that you liked the first part of this video and that it resonated, and that just overall you love this more personalized approach to tarot. So let's get straight into it. We have magic. So I can see here for all of my Aries babies that there's a lot of magic that's coming towards you within the next 6 months. So unexpected coincidences, or what you deem as coincidences, but actually it's just magic from the universe that's working through you, for you, and in your favor. Next up, we have the rainbow. So in the rainbow, I can see here some amazing coincidences and your spirit guides, your angels, through using rainbows as a form of communication. So the next time you see a rainbow, know in the next 6 months that this is a strong sign that the universe is speaking to you, that your guides are speaking to you. But also do know here in the rainbow that in conjunction to magic, this is an amazing sign for the next 6 months of your life. It's going to be filled with bliss. It's going to be filled with a lot more unexpected surprises and greatness that is just good news for you, okay? A lot more unexpected positive surprises than you thought possible. I can see here in the Canary spirit that the next 6 months of this year, it's really like your time. It's your year. It's for you to shine, all my Aries babies. You're very adventurous and energetic, and I can see that you will be able to fully express that and to fully allow your quick-witted and dynamic self to shine. I see here in the moth spirit that through surrendering, through just allowing things to be in whichever way that they decide to be, that is how you're able to lean into that. So because you're not trying to control the situation too much, because you're not being as quick-tempered as you maybe would usually act as an Aries, because, you know, as an Aries, you have fire sign energy. I mean, what can I say? You can be impulsive, you can be impatient, you can want things to happen exactly when you want them to happen. But I see here that the next 6 months are a bit more on the calm side for you, and a bit more on the side of just surrendering and allowing things to happen however that they will and however they should, which just shows a very mature version of your Aries personality, and a version of Aries that just kind of screams inner strength, if you will, that kind of just really shows that you're in a place in your life where you no longer need to yell, scream, or act impulsively. You've matured and you allow things to happen in due course. Next, we have the Page of Swords reversed. So in the Page of Swords reversed, I see that you still have that fun side of you that is really prominent. You still have that impulsive, quick side of you that is flourishing, but you know exactly when to turn it on and when to turn it off. So you're no longer allowing for the fact that you can be a little impatient to get in the way of greatness. Next, we have the Chariot, but upright. So in the Chariot upright, for all of my beautiful Aries babies, I see that things are moving very quickly. So with all of the goodness happening within your life and all of the unexpected fun surprises, you can feel as though things are happening so quickly that you don't even find the time to celebrate them properly. So now that you have moved into this part of your reading and you're aware of this, make mindfulness a daily practice and something that you don't skip in your daily routine. So meditation, just making sure that you are actually in the moment, practicing yoga, and so on. Next, we have the Knight of Cups reversed. So in the Knight of Cups reversed, all of my Aries babies, I see here a water sign that is coming towards you in the next 6 months. Let's see who this water sign is and what their purpose is. We have the Emperor reversed. So I can definitely see here that this water sign that is coming towards you is going to impact your life in a way that makes you feel like you can trust them, and in a way that makes you feel like you don't have to be so strong. So you can cry in front of this person, you can get emotional in front of this person, which can be very like not Aries like, if you will. That can be the complete opposite of who you usually are in public. But I can see here that this person, who is most likely a water sign, so think Cancerian, Pisces, or Scorpio, is going to really hit that soft spot of yours and is going to put you in a vulnerable place, but in a positive way. So not a vulnerable place where you're subject to any abuse or toxicity, but in a vulnerable place where you feel like you can be yourself and show your emotions. Next, we have the Magician reversed. And now all of my beautiful Aries babies of the zodiac, in the Magician reversed, I can see that you have a lot of potential that is going to still go unused. And that's most likely because so much is happening for you from the universe without you having to say, without you having to put it in motion. Amazing things are just sort of happening that I can see here in the Magician. It can be like really hard for you to see why you should put extra effort in, because everything is happening seamlessly already. So that is not necessarily a bad idea for you to not put in too much extra work and energy, all my Aries babies, because when things are flowing and going amazingly well in your life, sometimes it's happening for a reason, and it's best to just take that time to recuperate and to rest up, so that when you do have to actively work and innovate and engage in life and things get rocky or more difficult, that you actually have that stored energy that you can then make use of, that you can then kind of like fall back on, if you will. Next, we have the Aragonite. So all of my beautiful Aries babies of the zodiac, I see here in the Aragonite that you're able to let go of emotional baggage, and that's most likely why you're not so quick-tempered anymore within these next six months, aka by the end of these next 6 months. So do know here in the Aragonite that releasing any type of overly active temperamental tendencies is going to let you be a lot more credible, because the more temperamental you are and the more emotionally charged you can be in a way that can be like impulsive, the less people really trust you. So you will see how that will help you in your career a lot as well, because you seem like, you know, the strong but silent type. Next, we have the Smoky Quartz. Now in the Smoky Quartz, I do see that you're letting go of that side of you that is impulsive. You're letting go of that side of you that was unable to trust others and to just surrender to the moment. As I can see here in the chrysoprase, that you're all about receiving. So because you're receiving in abundance, be it love, be it material prosperity, you're slowly but surely getting used to it. It's not easy for you as an Aries, because you often have the mindset of, you know, if you want to get it done right, you do it yourself. But I see that because so many amazing things are happening for you in the next 6 months without you having to really lift a finger, you are starting to trust more and more in this divine flow that's happening for you. So you don't feel the need to control things. You don't feel the need to constantly like tamper with the flow, with the universe, and what it is allowing for you to receive, what it is putting right before you. Next, we have nutrition. So your nutrition is going to change. So all of my Aries babies, think, for example, vegetarianism, veganism, implementing more minerals, more vitamins into your daily routine, actually taking those and making sure that you're feeding yourself appropriately, like you're giving yourself the appropriate amount of each nutritional value. That is one thing that I see in nutrition. Then we also have the healer. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, I see here in the healer that you have the gift of healing, and it is important for you to share that with others. If you work in the medical field, if you work with other human beings, I do see here that the next 6 months you're going to make big jumps in your profession. You're going to make big jumps in how efficient that you are and just how impactful that your work really is. If you do not work in any type of medical field or with healing or helping other people, I do want you to know here that you may need to pay a visit to a healer, okay, a doctor or so yourself. So a healer could be a therapist, it could be a doctor, just overall somebody who can heal you, because in the healer we have this double-edged sword, if you will. So you are a healer and you're great at healing others, but sometimes you need to take care of yourself. And when you haven't taken care of yourself for a long time, or you've been neglecting your needs for a very long period of time, sometimes that can backfire on you and you end up being the patient, and you end up being the one who in fact needs to see a healer and needs to take care of themselves. So minor health scare, okay, nothing big, nothing crazy, all my Aries babies, but the fact that you're already seeing this prior to your 6 months means that you actually have a chance to steer things in a different direction and to not end up in this position where you maybe have like this little health scare where you feel like, okay, I really need to start balancing my body out. I really need to focus more on my nutrition and be healthier. So you don't even need to let it get to that point. Already focus on optimal nutrition now. When you're done with this video, go order those supplements that you know that you need. I know you don't want to waste that time, that energy, that money, but it is the right thing for you to do to heal yourself, as well as to ensure longevity, to not just feel, okay, well, I don't need it right now, to not have to need any big procedures or big healing work later. Take care of your health and your body now. You're only given one body, one chance. You might as well take good care of it in order to ensure that your life quality stays good for the next decades or even century. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this entire video and that you found it insightful. Make sure that you give it a thumbs up. You know that I love to put in the work for you, and at the same time it is just so rewarding when I see comments as well as lots of thumbs up showing me that you appreciate it. So all of my beautiful Aries babies, make sure that you're staying safe. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Taurus babies of the zodiac, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's get straight into it. I hope that you like the first part of this video. So let's move on to an even more personalized approach, shall we? We have the rattle. So I can see here in the rattle that it's important for you to not seek revenge, all of my Taurus babies. I know sometimes when people make you really mad, you kind of want to just give them a little piece of your mind. You kind of just want to be a little bit vengeful, but I can see here in the rattle that karma is at work in the next 6 months. And anybody who's done you wrong, all my Taurus babies, oh, they are going to feel the repercussion. They are going to be on the hot seat. Next, we have the heart of sky. So in the heart of sky, I can see here that it's important for you to keep your words and your intellectual energy sacred. Don't share your thoughts, your words, your feelings just with anybody, okay? This is something that you should keep for the privileged people who are able to know the ins and outs of your thoughts. Being an earth sign, especially as a Taurus, you love the finer things in life. You are all about that self-care. And one thing that a lot of people can sometimes take advantage of is your great ideas that you have in the earthly realms, is your great ideas on how to improve productivity and just overall upping your work ethic, okay? So I can see here in the heart of sky that be careful who you share information with, as some people will want to copy you. Next, we have the hummingbird. So in the hummingbird, I can see that you are in a space in the next 6 months where it's important for you to say how you feel, as the hummingbird definitely foreshadows a lot of frustration if you're unable to express yourself. So express yourself and your ideas with people who you can truly trust, and anybody who has wronged you, there is no need to tell them how evil that they are or how much of like just hurt or disappointment that they've caused you. Know in the rattle that karma is going to take care of all of those people. I can see here in standstill, all my Taurus babies, that the next 6 months are going to feel a little slower than usual. Now, time may be going by a little slower because of restrictions wherever it is that you live. Maybe you're not allowed to leave your home as much, or you're not allowed to do all of the fun activities that you would usually do. So I do want you to know here in standstill, all of my Taurus babies, that it is okay for you to not be moving at the same pace and to not feel anxious about it, but instead to really embrace that, because as a Taurus, yes, you can be in a way very slow, but once you get moving, it's hard to stop you. Then you're really just going to kind of like go in it to win it. But it is hard when you're in it, when you're in your flow and you get cut short or cut down because of exterior circumstances. But know that there are other places in your life in which you can invest all of this hardworking Taurus energy in order to be successful. So even if at your workplace, maybe you've been cut down a little bit or cut short because of the current economic situation on the globe, well, maybe you can funnel all of your great knowledge and all of your energy, all of your motivation into another project that can and will provide you with a lot of earthly results and rewards. So don't be too close-minded as to where you funnel your work and energy into. Next, we have the chrysoprase. So in the chrysoprase, I can see here that all of my Taurus babies, you are just like doing Taurus things, as in receiving. As a Taurus, you're suspicious of other people, but once they have won your trust, once they have won your love, you trust them and you love to receive from people, whether it be romantically, whether it be in friendships. So I see that very much your Taurus nature, like you're going to be able to lean back and for other people to take care of you in these next 6 months, emotionally speaking. I can see here in the tiger's eye that overcoming your fears is nevertheless an important part. And one part of your fear may be missing out. One part of your fear may be not seeing the opportunities when they arise, and then kind of missing out on once-in-a-lifetime opportunities in your career, your personal life, just life in general. So I can see here in the tiger's eye that this kind of feeling of FOMO, fear of missing out, is something that can actually have a real impact on your life that you need to get under control, all my Taurus babies, and to remind yourself that you're not the only one going through this. FOMO is something that a lot of us go through, a lot of us have to deal with, so don't let it affect you to the point where it's one of the only things on your mind and you're constantly thinking about what you're potentially missing out on, that you forget to live and forget to see that opportunity when it's at hand. When we're sometimes so focused on writing something the right way. Have you ever been so focused on not making a mistake, even like writing your own name, writing like the simplest word, that you end up writing it wrong, even though you were so focused on getting it right? That is one thing that I can see here with the tiger's eye for you. Next, we have the Seven of Swords. Now, in the Seven of Swords, all of my Taurus babies, I can see that there's somebody who's going to try to deceive you, and that's why we had the rattle, we had karma, we had not needing to punish people because the universe will do that for you. I can see here in the Seven of Swords, do you see this sneaky person? Do you see this person trying to get away with 5 of the swords, just leaving 2 here? So think somebody trying to screw you over with a price, think somebody trying to do shady business with you, trying to get away with it, but the Seven of Swords is here in reverse, okay? They're not going to get through with it. It's not going to go well for them. Everyone's going to see it, not just you, but everybody surrounding that person is going to see what type of nasty games that they've been playing with you, and they're just going to, quite frankly speaking, be the one who loses. They're going to be the one where justice is served, okay? Justice showed up in reverse, so I can see here that justice is something that is coming towards them. The next 6 months isn't going to be the full extent of that justice though, because I do see here in the justice card that it is reversed. So they are going to have that justice served over a long period of time. So think, for example, if somebody still has a court date that they need to show up to, if somebody is going to be punished for longer than 6 months for some of these actions that they did that they knew were wrong, that is one thing that I see here in justice. Next, we have the Hermit reversed. So go out a little more. All of my Taurus babies, I know a lot of you are natural introverts, and I understand that, okay? As a Cancerian, I completely resonate with that. I love to be in my own shell. But all my Taurus babies, I can see here in the Hermit that in order to feel new waves of inspiration and also to not kind of let life pass you by because you're experiencing the same thing just over and over again, it is important for you to get out there, to live, and to not put yourself into a space of confinement for too long. Because when you're confined for too long, when you don't have enough contact with the outside world, enough contact with other human beings, you slowly but surely start to lose your social skills. Now, you may think to yourself, what social skills? I don't have any social skills. Well, that proves my point, okay, my little Taurus baby. It is important for you to not lose the social skill that you have, so make sure that you're still surrounding yourself with people and that you're not becoming too much of a hermit. Next, we have I give blessings. So one thing that I can see here in I give blessings reversed is you actually receiving blessings, okay? Is you actually, as we spoke about in the chrysoprase, allowing yourself to receive, allowing yourself to be the one who finally gets things. You're now not the giver, you're on the receiving end. I can see here in I advance through my own abilities that in the next 6 months, everything that you accomplish, everything that goes well in your life or that is going to be successful, you did that, my Taurus baby. You accomplished that. Nobody else did this for you. You did this through your own strength, through your own perseverance, through your own ability to be in control, be in that position of power, and push yourself forward regardless of what type of opposing forces were present. So you're really going to be thanking yourself, all my Taurus babies, at the end of these 6 months for your accomplishments. You're really going to say wow, I'm so happy I was strong. I'm so happy I pushed myself. I'm so happy that I believed in myself. And anybody who is going to try to take even an ounce of credit, whether it's a parent, a friend, a partner, it's a hard no, okay? I can see that you're absolutely going to put them in their place. Last but not least, we have the Beaver spirit. So all of my Taurus babies, I can see here in the Beaver spirit that you're all about laying a solid foundation for the future. So think 6 months from now, having a down payment for a house, being in a committed relationship with somebody, thinking of getting married, even if it is just signing the papers, having this solid foundation as in another stream of revenue. So not having to just count on one paycheck for the rest of your life. Think in that direction when the Beaver spirit shows up and you laying a solid foundation. That is one thing that I see that you will have accomplished for yourself, all of my beautiful Taurus babies, and you will have nobody to thank but you, yourself, and again, you. So be proud of yourself. All of my beautiful Taurus babies, we are at the end of your reading. I really hope that you loved this really personalized approach to a 6-month prediction. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up if you made it all the way through. The most rewarding thing when filming these hella long videos is definitely to see just when they resonate, to read your comments, and to feel it through the love, through the thumbs up, through the new people that are subscribing. So make sure that you do that. So don't be shy to show your most healing creator here on YouTube a little bit of extra love. Now, all of my beautiful Taurus babies, I hope that you're staying safe. Know that I'm thinking of you, and I will see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Gemini babies of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's get straight into it to figure out what's coming towards you. I really hope that you liked the first part of your reading and that it resonated. So let's move into part 2. We have the upper world. So all of my Gemini babies, I can see here that the future is looking bright. The future is looking like there's a lot of movement involved. I do see here in the journey that the next 6 months, it's going to feel like a lot longer than 6 months. You're going to look back on these 6 months and think to yourself, wow, that was a journey. That was a long time because you've accomplished a lot of things. A lot of things happened. A lot of things transpired. Let's figure out exactly what those things are going to be. We have the eagle. So I can see here for all of my Gemini babies that you are highly focused. Okay, so as a Gemini, you can sometimes be a little bit scattered. Okay, not gonna lie, that's the type of air sign energy that we sometimes get from you. But I can see here in the eagle that you have this laser sharp focus on a goal and you're not afraid to go for it. Okay, you're not afraid to claw it, just like the eagle here. So the eagle has really extremely sharp, extremely clear vision. I mean, it can see like the smallest little rodent in a field and go for it. So that is the same thing that I see with you. Okay, no matter how far away your goal may seem within these next 6 months, you have your eye on the prize and you're going to grab it. Especially like the closer you get, the more you have that motivation to just go for it, to be unafraid, and to make sure that you hit success. In correspondence to the upper world, I see that this is the type of approach that you're taking for the next 6 months, and I can see that it's most likely going to be a successful one, as in the journey it is a long process, or it's going to feel like a long process. So whenever you look back on time and you feel like time it took a lot longer, like 6 months, it didn't feel like 6 months, it actually felt more like 6 years. So the actual time that transpires versus what it feels like, whenever it feels like it's been a lot longer, you've usually experienced a lot more. And experiencing things and them feeling like, oh, it's been so much of a longer period of time, that usually happens when you experience new things, when you allow yourself to be in different situations that you've never been in before. So expect a lot of the unexpected, all my Gemini babies. Next, we have the rabbit spirit. Now, the rabbit spirit, I'm just going to be straight with you. I'm just going to be honest with you. This is often a sign of fertility, of pregnancy, of a child. Now, if that is something that you're not interested in, do make sure that you take necessary precautions, all of my Gemini babies. But do also know that if somebody very close to you is looking to potentially, for example, get pregnant, for example, have another child, this is something that may resonate within your reading because it's happening in such close proximity to you that you can feel that. But furthermore, in the rabbit spirit, I do also want you to know that this stands for there being a lucky time present. So the next 6 months really being a time that is not only lucky, but also very fertile. Next, we have the skunk spirit. Now, the skunk spirit, contrary to what it may sound like, is all about knowing your worth. Just like this little skunk is not going to allow anybody to tell them, oh, you're not valuable or you're not worthy because you're just a skunk. And, you know, everybody depicts you as this little creature that has this little stink bomb that they can fire whenever they want to. That does not take away from the skunk valuing itself. So I do want you to know that the next 6 months are all about self-love, knowing your worth, and actually following through on knowing your worth. Now, you may ask yourself, Vanessa, how do I follow through on knowing my worth? Well, it's easy, all my Gemini babies. You have to be strong in your integrity. So if you say that you're not going to accept somebody disrespecting you, follow through on it. If you're in a situationship or relationship where you're being disrespected, take yourself out of it. That's how you keep your integrity. That is how you make sure that what you're saying is equivalent to what you're doing. So you're saying you value yourself and you're not going to allow somebody to disrespect you or walk all over you, then actually do it. Know your worth. Show people that you know your worth. Next, we have the parrot spirit. Now, I do see here in the parrot spirit that you're going to have to watch your words. All my Gemini babies, you can tell I'm having a hard time saying this because I I want to say it in a way that doesn't sound terrible, but let me just say it how I want to say it. Your words cut deep, okay? You can be mean, you can be savage with your words. So not necessarily physically, but you know exactly what buttons to push. And that is where I can see here in the parrot spirit that it's important for you to watch your words, because you may do irreparable damage with certain people if you get in any type of argument over these next 6 months. So I do see here in the Sandalwood spirit that it's all about being playful. So make sure you don't put yourself in a situation where you might get annoyed, where you might get really pissed off with somebody, because you may say something and immediately regret it, but nevertheless you still said it. So that's where in the Sandalwood spirit, it's important for you to remain in a place where you're surrounding yourself with people who are fun, with people who you know will not say anything to trigger you to the point where you then retaliate, but then you become the bad person. Like, you know, those people who want to like poke and poke and poke, and then the moment you give them a taste of their own medicine, they're like, how dare you? Like, that is so terrible of you. And you're like, well, wait, like, you were poking me the whole time. Like, how am I now the terrible person? That's the situation that I mean. Next up, we have the Knight of Cups that just kind of just fell right out of the pile of cards. I can see here in the Knight of Cups that a water sign is going to greatly affect your next 6 months. So that could be, for example, this person who knows your worth, who you may think of having a family with, okay, or who you may consider when it comes to spending a lot of time with this person. And just overall, they are around your age. They're a water sign. So think Cancerian, think Pisces, think Scorpio. And they are definitely somebody who does what they say that they'll do, okay? They are strong on integrity. I can see here in the Tower that it's definitely not going to be an easy relationship. That is one thing that I see here in the next 6 months. So either you're going to have to get rid of somebody else to make space for the Knight of Cups, or this whole relationship with the Knight of Cups is just not meant for you. So by making space, I mean, if you're seeing somebody right now and it doesn't feel right, then you know it's definitely going to come to a screeching halt. Okay, it's definitely not going to last, because the Knight of Cups is moving in. Okay, the Knight of Cups is making their way into your life. So if you're seeing somebody right now, it doesn't feel right, it kind of feels like a bit meh, do know that that relationship is going to be ended pretty soon, and that they're going to be replaced by the Knight of Cups. However, if you're not seeing anybody, you're completely single, the Knight of Cups may come into your life and it might be fun for a little bit, but then you notice that maybe the combination isn't the best and you have to start over again when it comes to love. I can see here in the Devil reverse that this is not something that you should feel too worried about, all my Gemini babies, as I can see here in the Devil reversed that you know yourself now at a point, or to a point, where you understand that if a relationship is meant to be, it'll work out, and if it's not meant to be, well, then moving on isn't a bad thing. Quite the contrary, you will actually be so thankful for that rather than sad, because you understand that if it's not meant to be, you can't push a puzzle piece into a space that it doesn't belong. So in the long run, it's probably best to start afresh. That is one thing that I see in the Fool. So all of my beautiful Gemini babies, do know here in the Fool that this is a sign of a new beginning. So in these next 6 months, you're never going to feel like anything lasts for too long, which is most likely also why we had the Journey in here, which is all about, you know, that feeling of life and just time taking a lot longer, feeling a lot longer than what it really is. And that's because you have so many chances to restart in these next 6 months, whether that is in your relationships, whether that is in love, whether that is in your job. It's just like a constant flow of new opportunities, really. I see here in the Death card reversed that these constant rebirths are maybe a little bit tiring for you. So by the end of these 6 months, you're going to be really excited to move into a time that is hopefully a bit more docile, that is hopefully a little bit more slow on you and for you, because I do see here in the Death card reverse that just having to go through so many changes, so many new opportunities. I mean, it's every time a new debate. You know, do I take this new job, or do I give this person a chance romantically? Do I break up with this person? Do I try to solve this situation with a friend or a family member? So that is where I see here in the Death card that you may feel really strained and really tired by the end of it. So be careful when it comes to your strength. I can see here in I am forgiving that the best thing you can do really is just be very quick to forgive. That doesn't mean that you would make the same mistake again if, for example, somebody mistreats you, because we did talk about that in the skunk spirit. Valuing yourself, that is like the number one thing. But any arguments that you have in the next 6 months, the best approach is to forgive immediately and move on rather than spend too much time, because time is so limited and so valuable for you in the next 6 months, all my Gemini babies. I can see here that in I respect the property of others, that you are really inclined to make a bigger change, not just for yourself, but also for other people. So you can't be spending your time and energy on any type of drama. I can see here in I honor animals with reverence that you are just trying to lead a life that is as kind and gentle and sensitive to the planet and its other inhabitants as you possibly can. That is one thing that I see here in I honor animals with reverence. So all of my beautiful Gemini babies, focus on the bigger picture, okay? Keep your focus on it like we spoke about in the eagle. Tackle it, go for just that. There will be a lot of distractions in the next 6 months for you, not gonna lie, but the more easygoing you see things, just as we spoke about in the Sandiper spirit, the more you're going to be able to avoid anybody's like drama or anybody's attempt to drag you into drama or to drag you into unnecessarily prolonged discussions. That's what I meant to say, all my Geminis. So this is a reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed this format of video. Make sure that you leave a comment down below to let me and others know. Furthermore, I would like to thank you so much for sharing this sacred and divine space with me today. Know that I'm thinking of you and sending you so much love, and I'll catch you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Cancerians of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into your reading in order to figure out what's coming towards you. I really hope that you've been loving this highly personalized approach to a pick a card tarot reading. Let me know down below in the comment section. We have magic. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, I do want you to know that these next 6 months are going to be magic. A lot of unexpected goodness is coming towards you. A lot of situations that you did not see coming, but in a positive way. So allow yourself to just chill, okay? Don't overthink it. Don't be a typical Cancerian right now. Allow these things to come towards you rather than to seek them out. Next, we have the clear quartz. So in the clear quartz, I can see here that things are going to become so much more clear. So first, it seems like it's magic. First, it seems like, what is this amazing coincidence that's happening in my life? But not long thereafter, you will see in the clear quartz exactly why this happened to you. For example, switching jobs to something that you love a lot more, or having a lot of success in your side hustle, and then all of a sudden, you know, you're getting kicked out of your job, or all of a sudden that old position that you were once in is actually completely canceled out, and then you will understand exactly why the opportunity presented itself for you to move forward into a different direction, or for you to have success at that exact moment that success hit you, okay? So you'll know exactly why this magic is happening. Next, we have the malachite. So in the malachite, I can see here that it is definitely time for you to transform. It's definitely time in these next 6 months for you to move into a different chapter of your self-development. The malachite is definitely one of my favorite stones. It's so exciting. I just got some new pieces of malachite into my crystal store. I will leave that linked down below in the description box, so you can check those out. They're so beautiful, so powerful. This is a stone that helps you to transform and transcend your current reality and move into a different one that is more appropriate to who you are developing and morphing into. Next, we have the lepidolite. So I can see here that your dreams play a really big role in your transformational process. So think to yourself as your dreams almost being like your goal board, what you're trying to manifest. So it is important for you to write those down and to get clear on it. For example, I have a goal board. I make one every year. I cut out little cutouts of things, places, people, everything that inspires me, everything that I want to work towards becoming. I hang it up there and I look at it, because that way it is crystal clear and Instead of focusing on what I'm transforming into, I can put all of my energy into the how. I can put all of my energy into actually moving towards the transformational process and moving from who I am now to the next best version that I'm trying to become. Next, we have the tourmalinated quartz. So in the tourmalinated quartz, I can see here that so typical for Cancerians, and I'm allowed to say that because, you know, I'm a fellow Cancerian sister. I can see here in the tourmalinated quartz that you have to get out of your own way, okay? Typical Cancerians, we get in our own way more than necessary. I mean, it's never necessary to get in your own way, but we do this especially often. So I can see here in the tourmalinated quartz that in order to allow things to become crystal clear as to why, like, the magic is happening, you know, why you're all of a sudden experiencing success, or why somebody is coming into your life, leaving out of your life, in order to be able to see the reason behind this and how the universe plays a role in your life, you have to get out of your own way. You have to stop overthinking. You have to stop getting in the way of your transformation by having just these thoughts of self-doubt or thoughts of, well, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't end up being successful? What if everything just blows up in my face? So that is one thing that's really important for you to just remove, to extract, to cease. All my beautiful Cancerians, it is not necessary. I can see here in the brown bear spirit that the solution that the universe is trying to suggest to you within your reading about you getting in your own way and how to get out of your own way is to take time out. Okay, so all of my beautiful Cancerians, instead of freaking out, instead of reading more into a situation than necessary, take some time out, okay? Just chill, just take some time to relax, to not overthink, and to sleep, okay? Literally put yourself to sleep, just as the brown bear spirit suggests. Hibernate, put yourself out of harm's way where you cannot kind of self-harm by continuing to let self-deprecating thoughts foster within you. Next, we have the owl spirit. The owl spirit is pretty similar to the clear quartz. The owl has almost a 360-degree view. You know how owls can just like turn their necks such crazy amounts and see so much? That is one thing that I want you to see here within the owl spirit that your guides are mentioning to you in regards to your next 6 months. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, do know here in the owl spirit that having a great overview is something that can give you that confidence that you need and that confidence that you sometimes lack. So having a great overview, making schedules, creating schedules for yourself, writing things down, physically writing them down, not just saying, oh, I'll keep them in my head. Creating that goal or manifestation board. You don't just have to do one at the end or beginning of every new calendar year. You can create a goal or a manifestation board at any given time. So that is one thing that I see in the owl spirit that you're being called to do, to engage with, and to make sure that you're incorporating into your routine in order to lessen any type of stress or anxiety. Next, we have the mirror, but the mirror showed up in reverse. So I can see here in the mirror reverse that as a Cancerian, you don't need to ask yourself the question about what is triggering you. You already know. For you, it's really about the solution. So one part of the solution is definitely to put yourself in a place of control. Like I said, making a plan, writing those to-do lists, and actually finding a way to tackle them, especially if they are filled with things that you've been procrastinating for a long time, maybe weeks, months, or even for years, and to actually create an action plan that you can follow through with. Next, we have no. So I can see here that when it comes to tackling those things immediately, you're being called to actually give things a little bit more time, which I'm really surprised about, all my Cancerians, because often the universe just wants you to get things done and to stop procrastinating. So I want to find out exactly why you're being called to first pause before you transform within these next 6 months. So what do you have to do during this pause, and why is it showing up? So we have the Chariot reverse. So things aren't moving forward. We've already established that. You are being called to wait. We have the Queen of Cups reversed. Okay, so in the Queen of Cups reversed, I can see here you have to wait and first take a little bit of time to reconsider and take time for yourself. The Queen of Cups always expends all of her energy and all of her time when it comes to taking care of other people. Especially when this shows up reversed, this is a sign that you've been neglecting yourself to please other people. You've been neglecting yourself and in turn fulfilling other people's needs. So that is where you have to first start. Before you can take any big action, you have to take action in taking care of yourself. Next, we have the Hanged Man reversed. So again, stagnation, all of my beautiful Cancerians. So before you can transform, before things can happen, you have to relax, okay? You need to take time to learn to meditate, to learn to be in the moment, to learn to not be so emotionally overwhelmed all the time, because when you're living in a state of stress, when you're living in fight or flight, that is something that creates disease. And when you're not putting yourself first and you're not taking appropriate care of that situation, you may end up harming yourself a lot more than you ever expected or ever thought was possible. So take enough breaks and take some time out. I can see here in the Five of Pentacles that it is important for you also to walk away from any type of abusive work relationship. So all of my Cancerians, if you feel like somebody is kind of like forcing you to work a lot more than you can, or if you feel like you're in an abusive relationship at work with your boss or with coworkers, and it's just overall a toxic environment, I see you leaving that within the next 6 months. And I see that, at first you have to think about it before you just make the decision. No, postpone, pause, say no, take a little bit of time. Like we spoke about, there's so many indicators here of you needing to just take time to meditate on it, to make an informed decision. But once you have taken that time, once you have brought yourself to a point of clarity, of knowing that you're not making a decision that is based on just being impulsive and impatient, that's when you're being called to follow through. And the Knight of Wands lastly confirms that. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, I do want you to know here that the Knight of Wands speaks again of action. So before you make decisions, take a moment, pause, make sure that you're not making those decisions out of an emotionally charged place. But once you know, okay, once you've made that choice, all my Cancerians, move forward, okay? Be strong, be unafraid, just as the Knight of Wands is unafraid to get things done and to move forward, even if they have to creatively improvise along the way. And as they move along, that is one thing that I see that you're called to do within these next 6 months. So all of my beautiful Cancerians, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading and that it resonated, that you like this format just like in general, okay? So make sure that you leave a comment down below, give this video a big thumbs up as a little sign to me that you appreciated this type of format, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, all my beautiful Leos of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into it. I hope that you loved the first part of your reading, so let's move into part 2, shall we? Which is even more personalized. So first up, we have the Luminous Warrior. So all of my beautiful Leos, one thing that I can see here in the Luminous Warrior is that the next 6 months, they won't be easy, okay? You will definitely have to fight a few times to get what it is that you desire. But I do see here in the Luminous Warrior that you're fighting from a place of light, okay? You're fighting from a place of wanting to make sure that everything is fair, wanting to make sure that the underdog doesn't lose out, whether you're the underdog or not. So I can definitely see a lot of this justice-loving energy that is just seeping through every pore of you. Next, we have Magic. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, I do want you to know here in Magic that your next 6 months are going to come with amazing rewards, as well as you feeling as though, wow, it's been magic. That's how you're going to feel 6 months from the point of watching your reading, and you're going to feel as though the fight and all of the effort that you put in was 100% worth it. Next, we have the Andean Cross. So I can see here in the Andean Cross that it's important for you to not move forward unless you feel like you're well informed, okay? So don't make any hasty or impulsive decisions. As a Leo, you can sometimes be a little interfering, okay? You can be a little bit bossy, just being honest with you, all my Leo babies. So it is important for you to kind of like temper that side of you and to make sure that you're hearing everybody out and hearing out every side before you act. Next, we have the wind. So your words are really important, so choose them wisely, all of my Leo babies. I can see here that for the next 6 months, your words are going to be everything, okay? So it's not so much about your actions in the next 6 months. I mean, yes, they do matter, but what's really important is how you speak to others and how you speak to yourself. And as a Leo, you may have put a bit more emphasis on action. I mean, after all, you are a fire sign. You are ruled by a lot of masculine, divine masculine energy, so I get that. But I do see here that quite the contrast is actually happening. You're realizing that how you speak to others and yourself is a lot more important than you ever realized, and being cautious with words is going to be really helpful and is going to also teach you a lot of invaluable life lessons. Next, we have the Queen of Wands. So you're moving into a space where you're more like the Queen of Wands, all of my Leo babies, and the Queen of Wands is somebody who has that strong fire sign energy. I mean, after all, she is the Queen of the Wands, and the Wands is the suit of fire that connects to fire, but at the same time, she's still nurturing. At the same time, she still knows when it's time to push someone and when it's time to just catch another human being and be there for them. Next, we have the Ten of Swords. So in the Ten of Swords, I can see that the next 6 months are really important for all of you beautiful Leo babies because a whole new cycle is beginning. I see that the cycle that you were in up until this point is dead. It's over, it's deceased, it's done with. You need to move forward. You've gotten everything out of your current cycle that you can. There's no more to gain. There's no more to really do. All you're going to experience is more loss and more grief if you remain complacent. So you have to move forward and you have to allow yourself to, think while moving forward, to be tactical, to not be impulsive, and to consider all of the different opportunities. I can see here in the Five of Pentacles reverse that for a little bit there may be situations where there's more money going out than there is money coming in. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, it is highly important for you to take a close look at your finances and also to save as much as you can and to reinvest in assets, okay? So not just nice things, actual assets. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So for example, if you own your house, that is not an asset actually, okay? That is a liability because it's not putting money in your pocket if you live in it. However, if you're renting it out, that is an asset because at the end of the month, it is putting money in your pocket. So that's just to break it down to a very easy kind of thing because, I'm not a finance channel, but you get the gist. One thing that I can see here is that it's important that you focus on building assets instead of liabilities and that you're very careful with your money. I can see here in the Five of Swords that there may be some sort of arguments over money with somebody close to you or somebody at your workplace. So if you feel as though you need a promotion or you need a little bit more money to just sustain the life that you desire, I can see that some people may not feel the same way, or some people may be threatened by that, threatened by the fact that you have a vision for yourself that is bigger than they maybe care to dream for themselves. So think people being jealous about your potential, people being jealous about the fact that you believe in yourself to this extent, that they're kind of like, hey, why do you think that you can do that? Don't you think that's a little too much? And you're just like, no, not really. That's what I want. So that's what I'm going to go for. And that may rub certain people the wrong way. I can see here in the porcupine spirit that it is definitely something that is going to make others feel intimidated to the point where they're like, hey, wait a minute, to the point where they may want to teach you, to the point where they may want to be kind of like know-it-alls and tell you like, hey, have you considered this, this, and that? This is a loophole in your plan. That will never work. Just think, for example, whenever you've had a big dream or a big plan and there was that one person who decided to poke holes into your plan rather than to just support it. That is one thing that I see here in the porcupine spirit that you may trigger. But you're watching this part of your reading for a reason. you're here for a reason. So do know that when those situations show up, or when somebody tries to like tell you all of the negatives about your plan for moving forward, don't let it get to you, and know that if you're following your intuition, you're doing the right thing. I can see here in the wolf spirit that the next 6 months for you, all of my Leo babies, it's just all about turning knowledge into wisdom, okay? So turning everything that you've learned about business, finances, love, relationships, whatever it is that you are interested in, that you're thinking of creating another stream of revenue in, that you're thinking of leveling up in, do know here in the wolf spirit that turning that knowledge, so if you've learned it from a book, into wisdom by then actually applying it, so the knowledge coming from the book being the theory, wisdom being the actual applied skill, that is one thing that I see that the next 6 months are all about here in your life. I can see here in the peacock spirit, really Vanessa, I can see here in the peacock spirit that you're going to be able to just let yourself shine, okay? So very Leo-like. As a Leo, you are very warm-hearted, you're enthusiastic, you're creative, but a lot of people can be intimidated by you or feel as though you're really pompous or just only focused on yourself. And I can definitely see that anybody who is annoyed by that type of Leo energy, they're most likely just going to be even more annoyed, but that doesn't matter because they don't matter in your life, because you need people who like that. You need people who want to uplift you, who want to see you shine. That is the type of crowd that you want around you, all of my beautiful Leo babies. So do know here in the peacock spirit that you're leveling up again, okay? You're going through another glow up. I know, yet another glow up for Leo babies. How unfair. And in midst of that, you are acting on all of the things that you've learned. So you're going to know exactly what works and what doesn't. Next, we have the turquoise. So you have to prioritize your health. I can see here in the next 6 months, all of my Leo babies, that your health is something that may suffer because you are not paying as much attention to it as you should. So think, for example, unnecessary weight loss or weight gain, or just overall your skin not being in a good place because it is reacting to you not giving your body the nutrients and time that it deserves and that it needs. So in the turquoise, do know that you are being called to prioritize your health and to be really careful with that. Next, we have the Amazonite. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, I can see that loosening your grip is a part of your next 6 months. Loosening your grip on potential outcomes of relationships, so not feeling like there is only one outcome that you would be happy with. Also loosening your grip when it comes to business ventures, when it comes to success in business, and reminding yourself that sometimes you have certain detours show up in your life to teach you new skills, to teach you new knowledge that you can then turn into wisdom. So welcome detours in these next 6 months. And remember, like, things are magically just going to occur and happen for you. The most important thing is that you don't act from a place of impulse, but that you move forward slowly and steadily. You undeniably have to move forward. We spoke about that in the Ten of Swords. You have to move forward. Your current cycle is tired, it's deceased, it's done. But at the same time, moving forward doesn't mean running, okay? It means walking, it means experiencing, it means turning knowledge into wisdom, not just like throwing yourself out there and spreading yourself too thin. So all of my beautiful Leo babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know down in the comments section, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Virgo babies, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into it. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy. First and foremost, we have Pachamama. So I can see that in the next 6 months, you're going to be connecting a lot more with the nature than you ever have in the past. So think being outside a lot more, think spending a lot more time in harmony with the nature, as well as potentially trying to protect the nature, trying to make sure that it remains as abundantly beautiful as it currently is. Next up, we have a standstill. So spending a lot of time just in stillness in nature. So think just sitting outside, side. Think just spending time, not necessarily being active, but just more meditating. Getting into a deepened meditation practice is another thing that I see for all of my beautiful Virgo babies, as well as just going a lot deeper, potentially having transcendental experiences. So seeing colors that you can't describe, seeing places and having visions that you've never had before. Okay, so having a lot of new spiritual type of experiences of ascendance. Next we have completion. So I do see here in completion, okay, we need to look into this in a little bit more detail, all of my Virgos. So here we have completion, and can you see the snake biting its own tail? So this symbol is called Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros is a sign of renewal. So this is a really old ancient symbol. This symbol is dated back to ancient Egypt, to Tut's like sarcophagus. You know what I mean, like the tomb, sarcophagus, that's what I mean, all of my beautiful Virgos. So that is where like the symbol, one of the first places that it's showed up. So people have been using this symbol for a long time. It has a very important significance and meaning. So the fact that this showed up within your 6-month prediction does show that completion is an important and integral part of your next half a year. So you're going to be completing a big project. You're going to be ending some sort of chapter in your life that is going to not feel like, oh, it's like a sad ending, but no, it's going to feel like a completion. It's going to feel like a full circle moment. Next we have thunder. So all of my beautiful Virgos in thunder, I can see here that you're going to get through difficult situations up until completion. So when difficult situations arise, I see you taking time in stillness, taking time in nature, and focusing on your completion. Okay, so you're moving through the thunder, through any type of difficult or stormy weather, to this place that you know you're destined to be, which is a place that is full of energy, that is renewed. I can see here in Earth just another confirmation that your connection to the earth is pretty undeniable within these next 6 months, and that it is something that you shouldn't neglect. So make enough time to spend out in nature, make enough time to be out there with friends and family, maybe your dog, whoever it is that you can be out there with. As I can see here in the Ace of Cups, that the next 6 months is all about strengthening the relationships that are currently present within your life. So all of my beautiful Virgos, you can be very modest and shy, which is why sometimes you need to spend that extra time with people who you care about, just so that they know that you care, just so that they know that you're okay. I can see in the 7 of Cups that there are a lot of opportunities coming for you in these next 6 months, but you don't really want them. I can see that you're very much focused on your current work, okay, on that one project that needs to be completed, and any other opportunity that comes towards you is something that you're maybe not even going to consider because you're just really busy with the current moment and with the projects that you have on the go right now. I do see here in strength that you're doing this from a very calculated place. You understand that being strong isn't necessarily about taking on a million projects at once. Being strong is all about knowing exactly how much you can take on without spreading yourself too thin or compromising your work quality. So once again, very mature, all of my Virgos. I can see here in the 8 of Pentacles that you would rather spend time honing skills that you already have. So instead of taking on new skills, new work commitments, you would rather really make what you have amazing and make sure that you're truly putting all of the effort in that you possibly can. Next, we have the 7 of Swords. So in the 7 of Swords, I can see that someone may try to take an opportunity from you. So if there's, for example, an opportunity to do a certain work project, but you've turned it down because you know that you're focused on something else right now, I can see that someone may try to like sneak that away from you. But it is important for you to know that what's yours will be yours, all of my beautiful Virgo babies. So if anybody is able to snatch something from you, whether it be a job, some sort of project, or, you know, a partner, a man, a woman, then know that those people, those situations were meant to be with one another, and it wasn't meant for you to begin with. Yes, I did also say a man, a woman, okay? If you're with somebody who can be snatched by another human being, if you're with somebody who does not think that cheating or does not think that being with somebody else is a problem, then let them be with somebody else, okay? They were meant for one another if they resonate with that, but you don't, okay? All of my Virgo babies, so don't sweat it. Next, we have the lapis lazuli. So the lapis lazuli is all about being decisive and making decisions. As a Virgo, you can be overly critical. You can be so harsh, not just on projects, but especially on yourself. So that's where it's important for you to not be so fussy and just focus on progress, not making things perfect. As a Virgo, you are a perfectionist, a relentless perfectionist, and it's important for you to kind of like tone it down a little bit. As I can see here in these smoky quartz, that you're being called and begged by the universe to just let it go, all of my Virgos. Okay, stop trying to create the perfect whatever it is that you're trying to create. Know that progress is so much more important than perfection for you. Next, we have the Rado cross-eyed. Remember, okay, remember the fact that you have most likely, what you think is a mediocre project is what I'm trying to say, is most likely already a lot better than what anybody else of the zodiac could do. Okay, what you think is a mediocre project is most likely a lot better than a lot of people could even hope for their project to be. So that is where in the Rado cross-eyed it is important for you, it is essential for you to remember that, to remember your worth, to remember the worthiness of your projects and the work that you put in, and just how valuable all the work is, even when it's not perfect to you. Next, we have the labradorite as well as the golden healer quartz. So the labradorite speaks of just that. Let me move your golden healer quartz to over here so we don't have things too overcrowded. So in the labradorite, it's all about you seeing the magic, all about you seeing your potential and seeing all of your accomplishments in an appropriate light rather than in a light that is full of self-criticism. I can see here in the golden healer quartz, all of my beautiful Virgos, that it's time for you to just open that door to achieving or accomplishing a lot more than you ever expected by just not craving perfection so much, okay? Often your work is already amazing when it's at 95% for you, and to have that extra 5% up until perfection, if the whole project took you like 20 hours, that remaining 5% could take you like an extra, I don't know, 10 hours. Is it really worth it for 5% when 95% is already here? Probably not. So you're being called to focus on completing tasks well, not to the point of perfection, so that you can move on to these great opportunities that are presented for you and that people are trying to snatch. But once you're done certain projects, you will see all of the opportunities presented to you and no one will be able to snatch them. That's the thing. People always wait till you're busy, till you're in a vulnerable state, and then they try to move in on you. But that's because they know that if you're present, if you're able to compete, there is no competition for you and there is no way that they will be able to get ahead of the game. So all of my beautiful Virgos, I truly hope that you enjoyed this reading, that you found it insightful, and that you liked this format. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, as well as subscribe to my channel if you're new. I mean, if you made it all the way to this point, we clearly vibe with one another. Know that I'm sending you so much love and prosperity, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Libras of the world, and welcome to your Zodiac 6-month prediction part of this video. I really hope that you like this type of video, that you've been enjoying this format. So let's delve into an even more personal 6-month prediction for you. So we have the frog spirit. I see here in the frog spirit that in the next 6 months, you're getting rid of things, okay? You're decluttering, whether it's people, material things. You do not discriminate, all of my beautiful Libras. You're being diplomatic, which is so Libra-like, and you are making sure that you're just moving into that part of you that is open to change. I can see here in the white raven spirit that you trust in the magic of declutter. So this may sound really weird, but the magic of declutter is in freeing up your space means that you will now have space for something new and better to come in. So you already have all of the knowns in your life, but you're making space for the unknowns. So if you already know that one of the knowns in your life is a toxic person, is somebody who is always the victim and constantly needs to tell you about it, you know that, and you know it's not helpful. So by clearing them out, by decluttering, like we spoke about in the frog spirit, you are able to trust in the new magic that's able to come in. So a new person that may maybe be a lot more inspiring than the person who is just constantly in victim mode. I can see here in the lion spirit that the next 6 months are going to be very testing, and that often you're going to really feel like kind of telling somebody to move away, to back off, to create boundaries. But that big part of you that is really easygoing is going to tell you to remain generous and to remain giving. I can see here in the canary spirit that even when other people would give up on a situation or another human being, you don't do that, all of my beautiful Libras. I see that you have a lot of hope in people, okay? And your charming way is really uplifting to others. So in the next 6 months, I can definitely see you just doing your own thing, listening to your own intuition. Next, we have the cow spirit. So there is a lot of positivity, a lot of greatness that is coming from that. Listening to your intuition was the right choice for you to make, all of my beautiful Libras. So I'm happy that that's a choice that I see you persevering in, because in the cow spirit, I can tell here that the miracles that are going to come from you just listening to yourself are endless. And you're going to think to yourself, I will never listen to another human being's opinion or advice again, because clearly my advice is amazing. Clearly I know what's up, and I know exactly what I need to do in order for success to come. I can see here in the age of light that really these next 6 months, this is a time that you've been training for. This is a time that you were meant to be in. So think finding that dream partner, finding that job that you really love, just being in a situation that you've always thought like, man, like I'm meant to be famous, I'm meant to be married, I'm meant to be a mother, a father, a leader, a CEO. I can see here in the age of light that you're 100% like prepping for this and moving into that. Next, we have a transformation. So in transformation, I see things that are changing on a cellular level. So from moving into thinking, man, I really want that, to it actually being the case. You know how when you're not a parent, but then all of a sudden you become a parent, whether it's a human baby parent, a pet parent, you don't know what it's like until you're there, and then all of a sudden the change is happening. You're changing internally on a cellular level. That's the type of change that I see here in transformation. You won't be able to envision it until you've experienced it. I can see here in the initiation that you're going somewhere new, you're going somewhere sacred. So right now things may seem a little dim for you, or you don't really quite know how to feel, but I can see here that moving into this place is sacred. It is meant for you, and you have the rite of passage. So don't feel like there's anything holding you back. If there's anything holding you back, then it's you. I can see here in the crumbling that nevertheless, all of my beautiful Libras, you may still be holding on to the known. You may still be holding on to everything that you're familiar with, because yeah, I mean, it is scary to move into unfamiliar territory and to try something new. So that is where I can see here in the crumbling that you need to ask yourself, what am I holding on to? And more importantly, why am I holding on to this? Like, what does this represent to me that I can't let go of it? Especially if it's something that you already know. So a relationship, maybe, even though you're unhappy in it, you're holding on to that relationship, trying to keep it alive, trying to supply it with oxygen, even though you know its time has come and gone. Why are you holding on to it? And why are you so afraid to potentially let a new relationship in that is so much more healing and so much more appropriate for you? So those are the type of questions that I see that are really important for you over the next 6 months that you're undoubtedly going to be asking yourself. Next, we have heart's desires. So I can see here for all of my beautiful Libras that your angels are supporting you and they are guiding you. You're not going to feel like you are alone on this journey. And I can see here that that you're being protected as your dreams slowly become a reality. So for your dreams to happen, like we spoke about in the transformation or the age of light, you are going to have to let go of something old to make space of something new. That's why we spoke about the frog spirit here and cleaning out the clutter. I can see here that animals are a source of a lot of support for you as you understand them and communicate with them intuitively. So spending a little bit of extra time with animals wherever you can, whether that be in nature or with animals that you live with, I can see that they can inspire you to trust that inner guidance, because one thing about animals that is undeniable is that they just know what to do. They just know what to survive. Like, they don't need a hospital. They know exactly what plant that they need to consume or what they need to do to their body, what they need to regurgitate in order to feel better. So that is a big thing that I can see you can learn from animals. Furthermore, the next 6 months are also going to reveal how a part of your life's work has to do with animals, has to do with other living beings other than humans. Next, we have the builder. So I can see here in the builder that the next 6 months for you, they're all about the big picture, okay? These next 6 months, you're not looking at the nitty-gritty stuff. You're not sweating the nitty-gritty stuff. You're all about creating, building, making something out of nothing. I can see here in flowers that having certain flowers show up multiple times for you, that type of synchronicity is a sign that your angels are trying to communicate with you. So think seeing sunflowers everywhere or roses everywhere in a very specific color, receiving them in a very specific color. That is a sign that the universe, your guides, your angels are trying to communicate with you. So listen to that and know that this is often help on your process to build, okay? This is often guidance when you're trying to accomplish something big, because your guides know exactly what type of input that they should give you in order for you to be as successful as you can be. Next, we have the azurite. So in the azurite, I do see here that all of my Libras, you're going to be laser focused and you're not going to let anybody get in between you and your accomplishments. So I can see that this is definitely something that is going to be hard for you to balance with your personal life. And as a Libra, you're all about that balance. You're all about creating balance. You're all about creating harmony. So this is something that you may struggle with in the next 6 months, finding harmony between your relationships, between your work, and also making sure that clearing out clutter, if you're clearing out emotional clutter or clutter in form of a person who only brings toxicity, you may feel a little bit guilty, but it's important for you to stay strong, all of my beautiful Libras of the world, and know that you're doing the right thing for you and you're moving into a really important new aspect of your personal journey on this planet. So all of my beautiful Libras of the world, this is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that it resonated. Leave a comment down below to let me and others know how you liked it, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Scorpios of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's get straight into it. Make sure you leave a little comment down below letting me know how you love this super personalized way of creating tarot card readings. Let's move into it. First, we have the Wheel of Fortune. So all of my beautiful Scorpios, one thing that I can see here in the Wheel of Fortune is, of course, great fortune, but also some ups and downs that are coming towards you where the way that you see things is really important. Okay, your viewpoint is the most important part here, because one thing about the Wheel of Fortune is that if you don't realize that you are winning, if you don't realize that you've been led to water, how are you going to drink? You know, how are you going to be able to celebrate? So that is where your outlook really counts, and you have to kind of see the glass as half full instead of half empty. Celebrate every little win. Next up, we have Temperance. So Temperance feeds even more into you kind of like celebrating every single success, every single win, and sharing that with other people. I do want you to know, all of my beautiful Scorpio babies, that it's important for you to not get emotionally detached. As a Scorpio, when you've been hurt or just overall when you're not sure, you can be really mysterious, a little secretive, really like suspicious of other people. So it is important for you to not let that part of you take over to the point where others can't get near you whatsoever, as I do see here in Temperance that sharing your success is important. Next, we have the Five of Swords. So I can see here that at a time in your life you felt like you were really alone and you had to do all of this alone, okay? So it may be right now that you feel a little bit neglected or a little bit as though you don't have that many people in your corner. But I can see in the Five of Swords reverse that is something that is changing. That is something that you will feel is a thing of the past. So you'll feel more supported 6 months from now. You'll feel more like people are there for you, or the people who are in your life you can truly count on, and you will feel less as though you have to make all of the big decisions by yourself or go through any type of pain by yourself. I can see here in the Rhodonite that what's important is that 6 months from now, you find a way to forgive anyone who's done you wrong along your journey, okay? All of my beautiful Scorpios, I know being resentful can sometimes just be like a part of being a Scorpio. As a fellow water sign, I know what it's like to want revenge. I know what it's like to get really angry and not want to forgive, but I do see here in the Rhodonite that is something that's really important and that could help you immensely. Next, we have the Shungite. So in the Shungite, I can see here that detoxing your life of negativity and negative people is imperative for all of my beautiful Scorpios. So get rid of negative influences, get rid of people who you know do not serve you, as 6 months from now, you're in a completely different place without them. I can see here in the Rainbow Obsidian that healing your heart is what you're working on in the next 6 months, and it is something that you should not compromise on. So if you feel like there are people who are trying to enter your life who are just ripping old wounds back open, it's important for you to shut them out immediately and to not even let them have that opportunity to even come close to a wound that you're trying to heal. I can see here in the Bloodstone that the next 6 months is just kind of about action for you. You don't want to be talking anymore. You actually want to be doing. You no longer want to say that you're, in the works of creating something. You're actually doing it. So it's going from very feminine energy to more masculine energy. That is the type of transition that I see for all my Scorpios. Then we have options. So this is most likely happening because there are new job opportunities that are presenting themselves. So think you having a new opportunity to try out a different career path, a different profession, be with another human being. So you're kind of like weighing your options, okay? In Temperance, you're trying to make sure that you don't go with what just feels right or what the part of you that is full of lust is telling you to do, but instead to be a little bit more well thought out with your decisions, okay? Consider everybody and every aspect of the decisions that you're making. That is one thing that I see in options as well as the Bloodstone. Next, we have music. So I can see here that music is something that is really healing for you, all my beautiful Scorpio babies. So if you need something to support you in your journey to healing your heart, on your journey to becoming a better version of yourself than you were yesterday, a week ago, a year ago, do take music into consideration. I can see in leadership that 6 months from now, you're going to be in a new leadership position. You're no longer going to be in the same job, or at least not in the same position at your job. And if you are studying, if you are a little younger or you decided to go back to study, do know here in leadership that things are going to change. So you're all of a sudden going to be almost like the leader of your class or your year, and your test results and so on are going to move into a place that have far exceeded your expectations. Let's just put it that way. Next, we have freedom. So in freedom, I can see here that allows you a lot of freedom to do whatever you want. So be it in your education, be it in your job, your profession, just being a leader, being in a place where people respect you and where you're given a lot of responsibility, but also freedom, is going to allow you to do what you choose and spend more time on your hobbies, spend more time doing the things that you truly love. And I see that you will rediscover or discover body work. So think getting a new tattoo, getting some type of body modification. It could even be surgery, whether it be surgery for aesthetic reasons because you just want to, or because something has been bothering you for a long time. I can see here that is something that 6 months from now you are going to be getting into. So if you have a surgery booked in or a surgery you've been thinking about, that is one thing that I see that you'll be able to do without having to overthink it too much, because you're in a place of authority in your work or in your studies. Furthermore, in body work, I can definitely see here that a big part of your life purpose within the next 6 months, it's going to be transforming into something a bit more physical. So keeping your body really healthy, but maybe you're also going to get more into energy healing, massage therapy, exercise training, physical therapy. Those are all different things that may be a part of your journey that you're uncovering within the next 6 months, all my Scorpio babies. Next, we have the ever unfolding rose. So in the ever unfolding rose, I can definitely tell that a lot of is happening for you, not to you. In conjunction to the priestess, I can see that you're being called to realize that, to step up and lead, just like we spoke about here in leadership, and to just allow for the rose to continue to unfold, to just allow for the opportunities to continue to present themselves in their own time. So just think how a rose is not something you can force. If you've ever tried to force a flower open, you know it doesn't work. You're just going to harm it. You're just going to like ruin its leaves, right? You're just going to ruin the blossoms. So it is very important for you to allow it to unfold as it should, and to know it's happening for you to enjoy. It's not something that's happening to you. Last but not least, we have Imrama. So in Imrama, I can see that 6 months from now, you're on a journey, you're on a trip, you're in a different country, in a different part of town. Okay, so you're going to either live somewhere else, or you're going to have journeyed to another place. Now, this is maybe a trip that you've been looking forward to, but this could maybe also be a trip that you've made in conjunction to body work, okay, to either get something changed on your body or to do some type of energy healing. Either way, I can see that you're being divinely called to this place, and this is something that you can feel within you is just the right decision for you at this very time in your life. So don't judge yourself. Don't let for others to judge you. Don't even give them that opportunity, and allow your divine guidance to take you to where you need to be at that moment in time. So all of my beautiful Scorpios, I truly hope that you enjoyed your reading and that you found it insightful, and that this type of format of video was fun for you to engage with and watch. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's get right into it. All you need to do is lean back, relax, and continue to enjoy this highly personalized approach to a 6-month prediction. So first and foremost, we have the Sandalwood Spirit. So in the Sandalwood Spirit, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, I can see here that the next 6 months are going to be fun. You're going to feel like being really playful. And this is a quality that I think a lot of the zodiac signs have lacked in their 6-month predictions, but you have. Next, we have the Spider Spirit. So in the Spider Spirit, I can definitely see here that because you're going into different situations with such a lighthearted demeanor, you're able to make your dreams real. So rather than putting a lot of pressure on situations, you're just allowing them to happen. You're allowing them to unfold however that they should or will, and that is bringing you way closer to your dreams than you ever expected. I can see here in the Hummingbird Spirit that being here in the moment, being mindful, that is something that all my Sagittarius babies, you are practicing a lot more. And by nature, you are a lot more optimistic than most other signs. You are really good-humored, and I can see in the Hummingbird Spirit that that is what further allows you to be mindful with ease. I can see here in the Seahorse Spirit that rather than being impulsive and moving into anything too quickly, you're watching and you're waiting, okay? You're deciphering what's going on in the situation, and you're really evaluating all of the different opportunities and aspects that go into any decision that you make. I can see in the Koi Fish Spirit that rather than being worried that you're going to miss out on an opportunity, that watching and waiting is going to cost you, I can see here in the Koi Fish Spirit that you are certain that there's always enough. And this is one thing that I just want you to make sure that you remind yourself of in any situation in life, whether it is in your business, whether it is in love. Being in a situation where you're watching, waiting, or you're building, It doesn't mean that the clock is ticking and somebody else is going to take your place, or somebody else is going to be able to have what you feel is rightfully yours. There is enough love in this world, enough money, enough abundance spiritually as well as materially for all of us to have what we need and so much more. But it is when greed, ego, and fear takes over that we live with a mindset of scarcity, that we actually remove ourselves even further away from energetically resonating with what we're trying to manifest. And that's when it's so hard to manifest. Okay, manifestation is not just saying, oh, I want this, or I really hope that this happens. It is actually putting yourself on the same energetic frequency as the thing that you're trying to manifest, the thing that you're trying to make a part of your life. So remember that, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies, and take that into your optimistic approach of the next 6 months. Next, we have temperance. Okay, so all of my Sagittarius babies, you may be really inclined to drink a little too much, okay, to consume a little too much of like unhealthy substances that you know you shouldn't. So try to like temper yourself, okay? Try to do everything within reason and in moderation. As I can see here in the Seven of Cups, that the outcome of doing things in a way that isn't in moderation is going to mean that you're going to miss out on opportunities, and that's something that's really going to stress you out and kind of hurt you, okay? It's going to make you almost kind of go the opposite direction, where you're being very careless because you think, what's the point? So if you, for example, are partying way too hard, using way too many substances that aren't helpful or healthy to you, and you miss out on a lot of opportunities at work or a promotion, you start to get depressed, and more you just feel like, oh, it's not worth it anyways. Why should I put any effort in my work because I never get chosen? So don't even let it get to that point, all my beautiful Sagittarius babies. I do know here that as long as you allow yourself to do everything in moderation and to not allow your unhealthy habits to have an effect on your work as well as your dreams, your goals, then you're going to be fine. But if you're allowing it to affect you in every sense of the word, you may fall into a downward spiral. I can see here in the Queen of Swords reverse that you really have to be like hard on yourself with your personality type. Maybe you know that you have an addictive personality, and that's when it's important for you to stay away from anything that may cause you to feel the sensation of addiction. So we had a few cards that popped out: the Hermit, the Fool, as well as the Page of Cups. So all of my Sagittarius babies, I can see here in the Hermit that spending time alone, spending time just with yourself is one thing that's really healing and that will give you a great new idea. I see that in the Fool. But also spending time with a lover is something that I can see is a possibility here, the start of a new relationship, a new romantic relationship. I can see here in the Hermit as well as the Page of Cups that being alone in a very emotional, loving, caring space, in a space with another human being where romantic love is involved, is this new beginning that we speak of here in the Fool. The Fool is a card that always speaks of a new beginning, of a new adventure, and of maybe also being blissfully unaware of how close you are to the edge, or how close you are to taking a leap without even realizing it. So that is one thing that I can see here for you, all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, in the next 6 months. Let's see what else is up. We have dance. So doing things to shift your vibration. If you're a dancer, then this will resonate with you. If you are not a dancer and you are not the best at just overall any type of rhythmic movements with your body, just like me, you will understand that this is not necessarily something that you want to do out in the open. So dancing is maybe something you want to do with the door closed, with, just you, yourself, and nobody else around. I can see here in you're already doing it that all of my Sagittarius babies, you are most likely kind of overthinking things. I see that the next 6 months, like, you don't need this prediction. Like, you don't need any guidance. You're already doing it. You're already in a space where you know what to do in any given situation in order for you to have the most positive outcome that you possibly can have. You already have the wisdom. You're already in a place where the maturity is here. It is present. You just need to stop overthinking and keep doing. The recipe for success is not just one great idea. It's like a great idea and continuously working towards it. So you have the idea, you work towards it, but you need to repeat, okay? That's the same thing with, for example, me and my YouTube channel. Like, it didn't happen overnight. I had to repeat. I had to continue filming, continue uploading, continue posting. And it's like that with anybody here on YouTube who has some sort of substantial amount of following. Not that mine is substantial, but you know what I mean. Anybody who has like millions of followers, like, they just repeated, okay? They knew what they liked, they had a good idea, and they just repeated until more and more success came and accumulated. I can see here that finding a way to have fun in this repetition is what's important for you, all of my Sagittarius babies. I can see in conjunction, last but not least, to the age of light, that this is meant to be. You've been training to do what you're passionate about for lifetimes. It's all about doing it once and then finding a way to playfully alter it so you can do it again and again and again until you accumulate more success, and the whole vibration just becomes this exponential flow of abundance. So it is important for you here in play to not be so serious. That is one thing that I see all of you Sagittarius babies need to continue to embrace, okay? A very fun demeanor, a very lighthearted demeanor, and to make tasks that you don't like fun. So in a social setting, you're already really playful, okay? You're already that life of the party. But when it comes to you being alone in your room, in your workspace, and having to repeat a task for the millionth time, find a way to make it fun and find a way to make it inspiring always. Bring new facets in, bring new knowledge in. And you know from your reading that you're already moving into the right direction. Don't feel like this means it has to be boring, or this means like there's nothing new to learn. So all of my beautiful Sagittarius babies, we are at the end of your reading, and I truly hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. I really hope that you appreciate this type of video. Let me know down below in the comment section, and know that I'm thinking of you and sending you so much love, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Capricorn babies of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into it so we can figure out what's going on for you within the next 6 months. Ooh, I hope you like this highly personalized approach. First and foremost, we have the vulture spirit. So one thing that I can see here in the vulture spirit is that for all of my Capricorn babies, nothing is wasted, okay? Even when a battle seems like it's been lost, even when a relationship seems like, okay, it's over, I can see here in the vulture spirit that actually that may just be in your head. As the vulture spirit foreshadows that nothing is ever really wasted in your life, especially not in the next 6 months. I can see here in the brown bear spirit that sometimes all you need is a little bit of space. All you need is a little bit of space from a person, from a situation, from a job, in order to move back more strongly and in a way that is so much more powerful, so you can move to new accomplishments and move on to new heights. Next up, we have the snake spirit. So the next 6 months I can see here in the snake spirit is all about transformation as well as healing. The snake is an ancient symbol or sign of healing, of renewal, of really like a rebirth, if you will. Just think of a snake shedding its skin. It is like a rebirth of the animal, and it is then able to grow, right? Any type of reptile, any type of animal that sheds, it does this in order to be able to grow. Without being able to shed the skin, it will not be able to grow. So that is one thing that I see coming for all of my beautiful Capricorn babies. But let's figure out a few more details about the next 6 months in your life. We have the moonstone. So I can see here in the moonstone that the next 6 months is really going to like illuminate your purpose in life. So if you feel like you don't know your purpose or you haven't found it yet, all my Capricorn babies, do not worry. You will come closer to your purpose to the point where you're most likely even living it. Okay, so you're fully in it. Next, I can see here in the pyrite that The next step is really to just allow the money to flow in. The pyrite is also known as the fool's gold. As you can see, like fool's gold, because it's not real gold, it's actually just a pyrite. But one thing that I can see here is that money and financial abundance is something that's coming for you in the next 6 months, so long as you allow yourself to live your purpose. So all of my beautiful Capricorns, this is most likely really great news for you, because yeah, you are an earth sign. You do like material prosperity and things. I mean, who doesn't? But I can see here in the pyrite that this is especially true for your sign in the next 6 months. In correspondence to your accomplishments, they are going to be earthly. Next, we have the black kyanite. So in the black kyanite, do not be surprised when people see how well that you're doing and they're kind of like asking for freebies. They're asking for gifts. They're asking for you to give them something that they haven't worked for, that you worked for. Okay, so all of my beautiful Capricorns, you may have to kind of set some boundaries. You may have to tell people to kind of like F off even, because they feel somehow entitled to your success or everything that you've been able to create for whatever reason, and it is important for you to set strong, healthy boundaries. I can see here in the rhodocrossite that remembering your worth is important, because depending on what type of family or community you grew up in, you may feel like you have this responsibility to share everything with everyone. But at the same time, remind yourself that often in communities where that is the case, like people are often in unfortunate positions, or there are a lot of people who aren't very successful because they shared too early on. So if you're, for example, just building a business and you're just hitting like the first little successes, like don't feel like you have to spend all of your time, energy, and money sharing that success. It's important for you to reinvest, because till you get to a point where you actually have enough like money as well as emotional abundance to share, you have to like build that up over a period of time. And if people are already asking for free handouts, like the first sale that you make, they're like, well, you know, you're rich now, well, you can help me now. That's not going to work, and you're going to end up both still being in the same place because that person isn't allowing you to grow. So you have to detach from them. I can see here in the aragonite, okay, the aragonite is just literally calling us all out. The aragonite is all about releasing any type of emotional baggage. So release the baggage that people are trying to put onto you, and the emotional blackmail, really, of telling you what to do with your success, what to do with your prosperity. It's none of anybody else's business, and it doesn't make you a bad person if you just want to like take it in first and enjoy it before you think of how you want to share all of your prosperity, all my Capricorns. Next, we have I am peaceful. So in I am peaceful, it is important for you to be very non-confrontational. As a Capricorn, you can sometimes be a little fatalistic. You can sometimes have a little bit of a grudging attitude towards certain people who have done you wrong, and I completely get that. But try not to get them out. Try not to allow them to get you out of character is what I was trying to say, because just look at this here in I am peaceful. We have the dove, which stands for peace, as well as this little timer here, this little sand clock. Okay, so know that time is ticking, and any time that you spend trying to teach people, trying to tell people to not be rude to you, to not push your buttons, if you said it once or twice and they're still doing it, don't waste your time on them. Don't feel like you can change them. Move on. Okay, your time in this earthly plane is limited. Do not waste it on people who have decided to misunderstand you, okay? Do not waste it on people who are determined to get you the wrong way and annoy you. I can see here in I act respectfully of others that even though you may feel like, well, I don't really have respect for somebody who does that, it is important for you to be respectful of how other people choose to lead their lives. Even if it's not how you would do it, try not to judge, okay? I want to say just don't judge, but try not to judge, and try to remind yourself of the fact that if everyone was like you, there may be scarcity. The fact that a lot of people feel that they can just leech off of you, or a lot of people feel like they can just get free handouts, well, that already puts them in a place that is a lot less driven than the place that you're in. So that means less competition for you. So when you're feeling a little bit dark, you know, think about it that way. Think about it like, okay, well, you know what? It's great. The fact that this person doesn't feel the need to work as hard as I need to work means that in the end, there is less competition. And in the end, maybe they can be okay with leading their life in a mediocre way. but I'm not, so I'm going to focus on me. Next up, we have the Ten of Swords. So all of my beautiful Capricorn babies, in the Ten of Swords, I can see that within the next 6 months, there is going to come this point of just like, okay, I'm done. I'm done explaining myself. I'm done trying to justify. And after that, you're just going to be silent. You just make money moves. You're not going to make any announcements. Next, we have the Page of Wands reversed. So in the Page of Wands reversed, I can definitely see here that there's some sort of fire sign. So think Aries, think Sagittarius, think Leo, who is going to impact your life. And I can see in the Page of Wands reversed that they're that person who is going to allow you to be reminded of the fact that it's not your responsibility to take care of everyone around you, and that you can give as much as is comfortable for you. And that is something that should already be appreciated, especially if you're like the oldest in the family, or like the firstborn child, or just like, you know, the person who is seen as the provider. It can be really hard to step away. And I can see here in the Empress that it's just in your nature, all my Capricorn babies, to please, to give others, to make sure that your friends and family are taken care of. But make sure that you don't do that while sacrificing yourself. Okay, that's one thing that's really important. Next, we have the King of Swords reversed. So in the King of Swords reversed, one thing that I can see here is that instead of saying too much, or instead of verbally communicating your boundaries, you're just kind of going to remain silent in these next 6 months and focus on yourself. I see here in the Queen of Cups reversed that you're kind of getting rid of anybody who is just drama like this, because you're not feeding into their drama. You're not giving them the time of the day. You're not giving them any attention. And that is going to have any type of toxic or fake people slowly fade away and scatter out of your life, which is exactly what we want, all of my beautiful Capricorns. And you are going to be able to continue to heal. You're going to be able to continue to take the necessary time out that you need, as well as to set boundaries with people who actually do remain, but still feel the need to overstep those every now and then. Because for you, I really would recommend like you focus on your moonstone pyrite energy, okay? Living your purpose, as well as letting the money flow in. Don't worry about what others may think, feel, say, or expect of you. Focus on creating a life for yourself that will give you stability in the long run. Don't focus on other people's feelings in the next 6 months, because anybody who really loves you and cares about you is supposed to support you in your ventures. Remember that. So all of my beautiful Capricorns, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you loved this format of video. Let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Hello, all my beautiful Aquarius babies of the world, and welcome to your 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into it. So all you need to do, lean back and enjoy your reading a little more. I hope that you like this highly personalized approach to a pick a card reading. Let me know in the comment section. First and foremost, we have the Eagle. So all of my beautiful Aquariuses of this world, I can see here in the Eagle that you're highly focused on your goals and you're going to snatch them. You're going to go for them, just as this Eagle. Just think about it. An Eagle has super clear vision, okay, really great focus. Even if it's something really small that's in a field, a little rodent, they can see that rodent from like hundreds and hundreds of meters away. So I do want you to know here in the Eagle that this type of precision is something that's coming for you within the next 6 months. I can see here in the Ancient Ones that you're learning how important it is to continue on a legacy that was already passed down to you from your ancestors. So if your ancestors fought for rights, if your ancestors fought for just equality, I can see here that this is something that you're really connecting with, all of my Aquarius babies, and that feeds into that humanitarian and friendly streak that you naturally have as a zodiac sign. So you're going to feel so purposeful, so filled with purpose and also drive. Next, we have the Rainbow. So all of my beautiful Aquariuses, I can see here in the Rainbow that you're moving forward and that your guides are going to try to communicate with you by showing you rainbows. Okay, so the next time that you see a rainbow, do know that this is your angels. These are messages, okay? in form of the rainbow, in form of maybe feathers, as you can see here with the eagle. The rainbow also has a little flying companion depicted on it. So seeing feathers or a rainbow, know that that's a sign that your spirit guides and your angels are near. Next, we have the coyote. So in the coyote, I can see your resilience really being on a whole another level within these next 6 months. So no matter what life throws at you, you find a way around it. You find a detour, you find a shortcut, you find a way to create abundance. So it doesn't really matter how tricky the next 6 months are for any other zodiac sign. Like for you, it's just like a piece of cake. I can see here in the Andean cross that you do everything very tactfully and skillfully. I can see that the next 6 months we have challenges here. And the reason why I know that there are challenges for you in the next 6 months is because the coyote is all about overcoming it. And the Andean cross is all about giving things a moment, thinking about it, making a game plan, and then acting on that game plan. And the eagle stands for that laser sharp focus. So there are different challenges, but don't worry about them, because clearly you're overcoming the obstacles. Clearly you are more focused on the solution than the problem. And that is really what sets you apart from a lot of people. You are truthfully solution oriented. A lot of people say that they want a solution, but they really don't. A lot of people say that they want help, but really all that they want to do is complain. All that they want to do is play the victim. But not with you, all my Aquarius babies. You are just not like that. I can see here in strength that strength is something that you understand comes from your mental space. Strength is something that is an internal thing that you have built, that you have cultivated. So I can see here within strength that you're definitely wanting to make use of that and tap into that. And by no means are you focusing on physical strength. You understand that you can be physically strong only if you're mentally strong. So you make that important connection and you're living it. I can see here in the Knight of Swords reversed that there is definitely somebody who is coming into your life who is also an air sign, just like you, my little Aquarius baby. And I can see here in the Knight of Swords that they're most likely going to change things quite a bit for you in the next 6 months. We have the Seven of Pentacles. They're going to kind of make you less focused on your career. I see that here in the Seven of Pentacles reversed because you're very focused on that relationship. So this does kind of scream honeymoon phase of a relationship. It does kind of scream your relationship being in a space where you want to focus more on romance rather than work. So do know that that is a big possibility for you within the next 6 months. We have don't dim to fit in. So I can see here that you're going to ask yourself, how have I dimmed my light in the past? How have I kind of made myself smaller in the past just to please others, just to make others feel more comfortable? And you're going to move away from doing that. I see that in don't dim to fit in. It's not even a question what you do once you have the answer. You're just going to do it. Like, it's not even like, oh, well, do I stop dimming myself or do I continue to make myself smaller? Like, no, that's not even the question. Like, you're, of course, going to be of the mindset of not dimming to fit in. I can see here in soul family that an important support system is definitely your soul tribe. So this doesn't have to be immediate family. Of course, it's always amazing when immediate family supports you, but it's sadly not always possible, and that's something that I can definitely understand. So do know here in the soul family that calling in your tribe and understanding that you don't have to do things alone, and that there are other people out there who can be just as much family as immediate family, that is something that's important. And to not feel like, well, they have their real family and they'll always put their real family first. There are people like you who do not feel as welcomed or as invited or as embraced by their actual blood as they probably should. Okay, there are a lot of people who are in your position, and because there are people like you, they understand, and that means that you can form just as strong of a bond with people like that as you could with quote-unquote real family. Keep in mind, you also don't choose your real family. Next, we have answer the call. So I can see here in answer the call that you will notice within the next 6 months that your soul is calling you to do something. Your soul is calling you to do something that you feel intuitively drawn towards, but that you're not sure of, and you're not sure if you should do it. So that could be moving away, that could be a new job, that could be getting into a new relationship or breaking up with a current partner. But I can see here and answer the call that you should go with that niggling feeling that's pushing you towards a certain outcome. Next, we have the red jasper. Yeah, take action. So last but not least, for all of my beautiful Aquariuses, you don't even need me for these readings. Like, the cards just speak volumes. I can see here in the red jasper that you're being called to simply take action when you feel the call, okay? Take action when you feel like the universe is communicating with you. Take action when you feel like, I know I should do this, but I feel uncomfortable. Well, tough luck, all my Aquarius babies. In the next 6 months, it's all about you taking action as soon as you've come close enough to your target, just as the eagle would, okay? Take action, grab the opportunity when it comes, as soon as you're close enough. Don't wait, don't let it pass you by. Make sure that you're taking appropriate action when you receive that soul call, when you receive that call from the universe, that sign that's pointing you in a direction and that is undeniable. So all of my beautiful Aquarius babies, this is the reading that I received for you. I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful and that you liked this type of interactive setup. Let me know down below in the comment section, and I'll see you in another one of my videos. Hello, all my beautiful Pisces babies of the world, and welcome to your Zodiac 6-month prediction. So let's move straight into it. So all you need to do is lean back, relax, and enjoy this second part of your ultra personalized 6-month prediction. So first we have the hummingbird. So I see a lot of movement happening for you, all of my beautiful Pisces babies. I see that a lot is going to change in the next 6 months. So let's see exactly what that change is going to entail. We have many paths. So I can see here that when it comes to reaching your goals, there are many paths. There are many different routes, all of my beautiful Pisces, and you are going to embark on a lot of different ones. So think of looking back in 6 months and thinking to yourself, wow, that was like a long 6 months. So 6 months feeling more like 6 years, because you're going down so many different paths, you're trying out so many different things, and that is something that is undeniably going to make you feel even more like, wow, I've been through so much, I've had so many life experiences. I can see here in the serpent that a rebirth is assured. So the snake or the serpent is an ancient symbol of being reborn, okay, of being able to create, of being able to allow yourself to be renewed, if you will. So that is one thing that I can see here in the serpent. And in conjunction to many paths, I can see that with each time you take a path or you take an approach that makes you feel a little uncomfortable, that makes you feel like things are moving a little too quickly, you grow a little bit. Every time you move a little out of your comfort zone, you allow yourself to become another version of yourself, a better version of yourself. You allow yourself a little bit more room to expand spiritually and emotionally. I can see here in standstill that in midst of everything moving very quickly in the next 6 months, it's important for you to actually schedule in time to just meditate, to just be alone, to be in standstill, and to not have to focus on anything but yourself and your own personal well-being. Often when things are moving very quickly, we can get very distracted and be a little bit just on the fast track to stress, to disease, because if you're constantly in fight or flight mode, if you're constantly just slightly stressed, but that is like a constant, it does end up taking a toll on your body. I can see here in the Knight of Pentacles reverse that it's important for you to put just as much emphasis and make your physical body just as important as any type of material gain. And remind yourself that all the material gain in the world, or all the time in the world, is worth nothing if you don't take care of your body and if you don't make sure that you're healthy inside and out. Also mentally healthy. I mean, there are so many people who others would say had it all. They had money, they had opportunity, they had anything that they quote unquote wanted in life, that still went down a path of not wanting to be here anymore, of not wanting to be in this earthly plane. So remind yourself that there is so much more to life than just a hustle, which can be hard to envision in midst amidst all of this toxic hustle culture that is going on, and allow that to be where you set your intention and attention towards. I can see here in Temperance reversed that you may suffer from FOMO sometimes, like, oh, if I'm not constantly doing something or improving, then that means that I'm stagnant. Well, that's only that way to a certain degree. We all need sleep and rest. Just think about it. Human beings are meant to sleep like 8 hours a night, right? And just in nature, just think about it. If we weren't meant to get that sleep, if that sleep wasn't really, really important for something, we wouldn't have survived, right? Evolution would have wiped us out. We wouldn't have been able to get to this point. So sleep is really important, okay? Restoring, making sure that you're giving your body a chance to heal is something that's really important, because why else would humans sleep for 8 hours of the day, making themselves vulnerable to wind, weather, predators, just like anything happening in those 8 hours, if it wasn't an essential part of us? Next, we have the Queen of Wands. Yeah, so remind yourself how essential it is to rest, and remind yourself that it doesn't make you lazy. It doesn't make you any less creative. Quite the contrary, it actually fuels your creativity when you are well rested. I can see here in the 8 of Cups that it's important for you to walk away from what you've known up until this point about hard work. I see that the next 6 months for all of my Pisces babies, instead of working super, super hard, you're going to be working more on working smart, okay? That's going to be the focus. Instead of trying to just cram in as many hours of being busy, you're going to value your sleep, your rest, just your recuperation more, and walk away from feeling like you have to keep up with everything that you see in the media. I can see here in the Hierophant that knowing just how important the spiritual aspect of your life is something that will give you strength, but something that you also need to look out for. As a Pisces, you can often be a little bit, people say it's weak-willed, a little bit easy to lead. So it is important for you here in the Hierophant to not fall prey to people who are trying to get you into certain institutions or quote-unquote business opportunities that are in fact only helpful and valuable to them if you join, but not to you. I see here in the 8 of Pentacles reversed that there may be some people who you haven't spoken to for a long time. So think, for example, somebody that you went to high school with or to school with, and all of a sudden they're hitting you up on Facebook telling you about this great business opportunity, but actually it's just like a multi-level marketing scheme, an MLM or something like that, where they benefit from you being there. So they did not genuinely want you to be a part of this awesome opportunity. It just like lines their pockets. So that is one thing that I can see going on up here that you're going to experience within the next 6 months, that of course I would recommend for you to decline and to invest your energy and time elsewhere. I know as a Pisces, you are a very soft-hearted, caring, forgiving soul, but it is important for you to not fall prey to these types of schemes. Next, we have the Turquoise. So in the Turquoise, I can see here that prioritizing your health is number one. We already spoke about that and how important that it is. So the fact that it showed up again in form of the Pisces just shows how much the universe really wants you to focus on your health, your physical well-being, your mental well-being, and to not neglect that just in order to be able to work more or to have more earthly abundance present in your life. Then we have the Azurite. Get focused on what you want, as well as trusting your intuition. That is what I see next in the Amethyst. So first focus on what you want, then move intuitively towards that goal. A great way for you to watch this happen is to create a vision board or some type of like motivational area where you put little stickers, Post-its, just notes, little words on there. It can be a board, it can be a paper, of all of the things that you want to accomplish, okay? And that's how you get laser focused. That is one thing that I see that you need to hone in on or kind of like move in on more in the azurite. And then in the amethyst, trust your intuition. Trust that once you have right before you exactly what you want, that you will intuitively know what to do to get there, okay? That you will have activated your manifestation powers really to move into that space of actually being on that vacation, driving that vehicle, owning that home that's on your goal or vision board. Next, we have the rose quartz. So in the rose quartz, all of my beautiful Pisces, I can see here that the next 6 months, there is a good chance of romantic love flourishing and blossoming. So romantic love allowing you to open your heart and allowing you to slow down is almost like the best medicine for a busy Pisces throughout these next 6 months. So allow yourself to indulge in love, to be a part of a romantic relationship, and to just be infatuated by another human being. Enjoy that type of feeling, maybe even a renewed honeymoon phase with another human being in your life. So all of my beautiful Pisces of the world, we're at the end of your reading, and I really hope that you enjoyed it and that you found it insightful. Let me know whether you like this type of highly personalized and interactive video down below in the comment section. Know that I'm sending you so much love, and I'm thanking you for sharing the space with me, and I'll see you in another one of my readings. Thank you.